Hello, your channel Eugene Light Novels greets you. I hope you are enjoying these beautiful novels. Now, let's continue with the novel, Controlling Beasts, Everything and the Path of Destiny. First part. Chapter 1: The History of Lynching. May 7, 2224. Yehai City. Qin by Animal Education Shop. Mom, I'm leaving. Qin Yi was wearing a black cartoon long-sleeved shirt with a duck pattern on it. He was holding a white plastic bag with 3 large buns in his hand and a black satchel on his shoulder. He ran downstairs like an arrow and turned towards the store. Yelled inside. In the store, the beautiful young woman Baya, who had just sat down, heard her son's call and ran out quickly. She looked at her son's youthful and energetic back, with a happy smile on her face. Come on, son. Try to come back with an incredible talent. No problem. Qin Yi turned around with a sunny smile on his face, waved to his mother, then continued to turn around and run forward. Time is running out, we're going to be late. Qin Yi, 18 years old, is a time traveler. When he first arrived, he did not awaken the memories of his previous life. It was not until he was 3 years old that those memories of his previous life gradually came to his mind like a tide. At that time, he often relived every bit of his previous life in his dreams. At first, he was surprised and frightened, but as time went by, he gradually adapted to all this. After getting used to it, he began to explore this new world. When he learned that there were monsters on the Spirit Star with special abilities similar to those in previous games, and that people could awaken the mysterious power to become spiritual summoners and collect monsters, he was filled with infinite yearning for the future. At the same time, he also realized at that moment that this was a wonderful world full of infinite futures, dominated by spiritual summoners. Of course, the beasts in this world are not called monsters, but have a unique name, spiritual beasts. Yehai No. 1 High School. Grade 3-4, Class. The head teacher Yi Qiu walked into the class and looked at the noisy students, then came to the podium and clapped his hands. In an instant, the noisy class fell silent at a speed visible to the naked eye. Before I leave, I want to say something else to you. Yi Qiu looked at the student sitting obediently over there, adjusted his gold-rimmed glasses, and continued, Don't be confused when you wake up later. Call your name. Students will go to the awakening area to awaken. Students who have successfully or unsuccessfully awakened must leave the awakening area as soon as possible. Students who have successfully awakened their talents, after leaving the awakening area, you can go to the talent registration office to register your talents. Talent registration is not compulsory. You can choose whether to register your talents. Yi Qiu looked at the students discussing in low voices and continued, Students who register their talents, you can get priority in the Spirit Beast room. After hearing this sentence, those students who originally didn't take it seriously fell into silence and fell into deep thought. If your awakened talents are very good, there will be other rewards, such as being selected by the official for key training, such as. Of course, all this is only possible if your talent is very good. If your talent is average, you still need to work hard on your own. In short, there are still benefits to registering talents. As for the disadvantage, it is obvious that the effects of one's own talent will be known to others. Good or bad, you can weigh it yourself. After Yi Qiu asked them to think for a while, he continued, Students who failed in awakening, although you cannot become spiritual beast masters, you are luckier than those who were more than 100 years ago. You can now become spiritual beast masters through acquired efforts. The people who lived more than 100 years ago did not have Master Luo Qing, and the people who lived more than 100 years ago did not have the Spirit Summoning Ball. On January 11, 2111, the legendary spiritual summoner Master Luo Qing successfully developed a cross-generation product that changed the history of the spiritual star, the Spiritual Summoning Ball. After more than 100 years of research, the price of the Spirit Calling Ball has become very affordable. Now you only need 1,000 spirit coins to buy an ordinary Spirit Calling Ball. So for students who don't have the talent to awaken and become a spirit summoner, you can also choose to become a spirit beast master and use the Spirit Summoning Ball to subdue spirit beasts for battle. Although the road to becoming a spirit beast master is difficult, no matter how difficult it is, you still have a new choice, so you are much luckier than those who were more than 100 years ago. In addition to spiritual summoners and spiritual beast masters, you can also choose to become spiritual cultivators to help others cultivate spiritual beasts. Qin Ye's parents in our class are well-known spiritual cultivators in Yehai City. Yi Qiu looked at Qin Yi, and Qin Yi woke up in a daze. He looked at the gazes of everyone and scratched his head in embarrassment. Listen well and don't be in a daze. Yi Qiu glared at Qin Yi. Qin Yi was shocked and immediately sat upright. Yi Qiu showed a satisfied look and continued to speak. Not long after, Yi Qiu left the classroom and walked toward the gymnasium with his classmates with different expressions. Qin Yi walked at the back of the team and looked at the innocent expressions of his classmates, full of yearning for the future. He couldn't help but sigh in his heart, "You are still too young." Spirit summoners can become stronger, but spirit beast masters cannot. Spirit beast masters can only carry spirit beasts with them to fight, and their safety cannot be guaranteed. Although the spirit summoner also uses spirit beasts to fight, the spirit summoner fights with the spirit beasts contracted by himself. When the contracted spirit beasts are upgraded, the strength of the spirit beasts can be fed back to the spirit summoner, allowing the spirit summoner to fight. The teacher also became stronger. A powerful spiritual summoner can knock down mountains with one punch. But the spirit beast master cannot do this. No matter how strong the spirit beast of a spirit beast master is, it is the spirit beast that is stronger, not themselves, so their own safety cannot be guaranteed, and it is not uncommon for spirit beasts to kill spirit beast masters. It is precisely because there are too many examples of spirit beast masters' spirit beasts turning back on themselves, so it is much more difficult to become a spirit beast master now than before. As for how difficult it is, I won't go into details here. Although the safety of spirit beast masters cannot be guaranteed, no matter how unsafe it is much better than it was 100 years ago. In this world full of dangers, being able to carry spiritual beasts for protection anytime and anywhere is still several times stronger than before. 100 years ago, if a person who was not a spirit summoner encountered a ferocious spirit beast, no matter how strong or weak the spirit beast was, 99% of the time he would die. But now with the spirit summoning ball, you can summon the powerful spirit beast you have cultivated, and your life or death is up to you. The strength of both sides. Therefore, the emergence of the spirit calling ball can be said to have brought the spirit star into a new era, allowing people who have not yet awakened their talents to be qualified to fight and become strong. The road to becoming a spirit beast master is difficult, but it is not that no spirit beast master has become a top powerhouse. 2 of the 12 new kings of the Soul Summoning Federation are spirit beast masters, and they became kings in a mortal body. The emergence of the spirit summoning ball not only gave ordinary people the qualifications to become powerful, but also gave spirit summoning masters more powerful power. It is much easier for a spiritual summoner to control uncontracted spiritual beasts than ordinary people. The emergence of the spirit calling ball has given humans more choices, but these choices also come at a cost. The price was that the already tight resources became even tighter, so tight that they almost stopped production of the spirit calling ball. More than 60 years ago, when the spirit summoning ball was about to stop production amid the condemnation of many spirit summoners, the world suddenly changed. Dimensional cracks appeared out of thin air in many places. A large number of powerful creatures rushed out of the dimensional cracks, and the world entered a life-or-death situation of war. After more than 20 years of war, the Lingxing human race successfully defended their planet, but the price paid was also huge. There are 7 continents in Lingxing. The human race originally fully occupied 5 continents, but now there are only 2 fully occupied continents. Although the other 3 continents still have the Human Federation, the area they occupy is no longer as good as before. The Spirit Star human race paid a huge price, but they also gained an unlimited future. They had access to other worlds to obtain resources, and the production of the spirit summoning balls was not discontinued. Nowadays, these dimensional cracks in the human territory are heavily guarded by the human race and have become portals for the human race to obtain resources. Chapter 2: Awakening Talent. Stadium. Students from all senior high school classes gathered together and it was crowded. The principal of Yehai No. 1 High School stepped onto the podium and delivered an impassioned speech, and the awakening ceremony officially kicked off. The awakening ceremony is simple and mysterious. The person whose name is called needs to step forward and touch a ball, which is commonly known as the awakening ball. It is ordinary, but it can emit magical light at critical moments. If the light gradually becomes brighter, it means the awakening is successful. On the contrary, if the light becomes dimmer, it means the awakening fails. The number of awakening balls in Yehai No. 1 High School is limited, only 5. Therefore, students came on stage 5 by 5 to awaken. 5 by 1, they woke up very quickly. It didn't take long before Qin Yi was called. Qin Yi, Class 4, Grade 3, please come on stage quickly when you hear your name. Qin Yi, Class 4, Grade 3, please come on stage quickly when you hear your name. The sleepy Qin Yi suddenly became energetic after hearing his name. Du Feng, a handsome boy standing in front of Qin Yi, turned around and shouted, "Qin Yi, I've called you." "Yeah, I heard it. Come on." Qin Yi took a deep breath, calmed down the nervousness in his heart, walked out of his class, and walked quickly towards the awakening venue ahead. "Don't be nervous, just put your hands on the awakening ball, close your eyes and wait." The head teacher Yi Chio's voice sounded from the side. Qin Yi's nervousness calmed down a bit as he listened to the comforting voice of his head teacher. He held the ball with both hands, closed his eyes, and his mind went blank for a moment. Just when he regained consciousness, an invisible force emerged in his body, and his body felt warm. At the same time, the ordinary awakening balls under his hands gradually began to glow. Yi Chio watched this scene, squeezed his fists excitedly, and shouted in a low voice, "It's done. The 5th one." Currently, 15 people in the class she teaches have completed awakening, and 5 of them have successfully awakened their talents. The chance of successfully awakening their talents is far higher than the 1/5 of the outside world, up to 1/3. Yi Chio looked at Qin Yi, who was standing there with his eyes open and a little confused, and shouted, "Come to my side." Qin Yi came to his senses when he heard a familiar shout from the side, and soon saw Teacher Yi waving to him not far away. He blinked and walked over. Yi Chio looked at Qin Yi, who was approaching, and asked, "Qin Yi, what talent have you awakened?" Qin Yi scratched his head and said, "I haven't read it yet." Yi Chio pointed to the registration office not far away and responded with a smile on his face, "After awakening the talent, we will have a panel appear, and there will be an additional skill, Spirit Summoning Pupil, that can only be possessed by the awakened talent. You can check the effects of Spirit Summoning Pupil and your own talent on the panel. After reading it, you can choose to go to the registration office over there to register. The way to open the panel is very simple, just say it silently in your mind." "Okay." Qin Yi nodded slightly and thought about the panel in his mind. Name, Qin Yi. Level, Trainee Spiritual Summoner. Talent, Sen Luo Wanxiang. Skill, Soul Calling Eye. Sen Luo Wanxiang, each time you contract a spirit beast with a different main attribute, you will receive more energy from the spirit beast in return. If you contract a spirit beast with the same main attribute, the energy you enjoy in return will not increase. Soul Summoning Pupil, released on the target's information can be viewed. P.S. The main attributes are the attributes that the panel shows you, that is, the attributes that account for more than 50% of itself. If the proportions of the two attributes are about the same, they are two main attributes, and two attributes will be displayed. They are not shown to you, but if there are attribute skills, they are all secondary attributes, and the secondary attributes are not displayed. Qin Yi frowned. This seemed to be a little different from what the teacher said. "What's wrong?" Yi Chio asked with concern, "Is the awakening talent bad?" No. Qin Yi shook his head quickly and continued calmly, "It's a growth talent. I'll go and register it." There are still many benefits to registering talents, so he did not hesitate. Of course, the most important thing is that he has seen many similar effects of this talent, so he feels there is no need to hide it. "Okay, let's go." Yi Chio didn't ask much, just assuming that Qin Yi was a little dissatisfied with his talent. She had encountered this situation many times, so she didn't feel anything. Qin Yi came to the registration office. Before Qin Yi could speak, an invisible wave spread from the body of the young man at the registration office to the surroundings. The young man looked at Qin Yi and said, "I have blocked out the surrounding sounds. They can't hear us." Qin Yi nodded and said, "My talent is called Sun Luo Wanxiang. It should be regarded as a growth talent. It is a talent that strengthens myself. The effect is that it allows me to contract with spiritual beasts of different attributes. The more contracts I have, the more growth I will gain. There should be more." After the young man recorded it, he asked Qin Yi, "Is there any more?" "No more." Qin Yi asked, "What kind of talent is this?" "This is indeed a growth talent, but this talent is not very friendly to you. In the early stage, there is basically no effect, or even no effect. In the middle and later stages, it also depends on the effect of your talent. If the talent effect is strong, it is very useful, and it is not impossible to become a king. If the talent effect is weak, it can only be said to be average. Just like that. And your talent also limits you, allowing you to contract only spiritual beasts with different attributes, so you have to think carefully about contracting spiritual beasts. If you contract with a wood-attributed spiritual beast, you cannot contract with a wood-attributed spiritual beast later. Because it will be a big loss if you contract with a spiritual beast of the same attribute." "Why?" Qin Yi wondered. The young man thought for a moment and responded, "Probably the first contract is with fire attribute, and the energy feedback is 1.1 times, the second contract is still with fire attribute, and the energy feedback remains unchanged, it is still 1.1 times, the third contract is with water attribute if so. The energy feedback will continue to increase and become 1.2 times. Your contract has the same attributes, which means you lose 0.1 bonus. So try not to contract with spiritual beasts of the same attributes." The young man sighed. There are similar talents in the league, and they are not uncommon, but most of the people with these talents have not emerged from the many geniuses. The young man continued, "Registered." Qin Yi was stunned for a moment, then quickly thanked him and left the registration office to return to his class team. "Brother Qin is awesome, Brother Qin, what talent have you awakened?" Du Feng asked excitedly. Qin Yi shook his head and responded, "The growth-type talent has a mediocre effect and cannot be contracted with spiritual beasts of the same attribute." "Ah." Du Feng was shocked, then patted Qin Yi on the shoulder and comforted, "Brother, don't be sad, it's better than nothing." "I'm not sad." Qin Yi rolled his eyes at him, "Why haven't I called you yet?" "How do I know?" Du Feng shrugged. Not long after he finished speaking, the teacher called his name. "I'm going." Du Feng immediately became energetic after hearing this. "Come on. See you later." Du Feng walked out of the team and walked towards the awakening venue. Not long after, Qin Yi looked at the awakening balls that lit up under Du Feng's hands and muttered, "This kid is indeed awakened." He was not surprised that Du Feng could awaken his talent, because Du Feng's parents were spiritual summoners like his parents. When both parents are spiritual summoners, the chance of awakening one's talent is extremely high, and there are very few cases where the awakening fails. Therefore, Du Feng's ability to awaken his talent seemed normal to him, but he would be surprised if he failed to awaken. "I just don't know if he will awaken his fire talent like his parents." Du Feng's parents are well-known super fire spiritual summoners in Yehai City. Since both parents have fire talent, the chance of his son awakening to the fire talent is still very high. The levels of spiritual summoners are apprentice, junior, intermediate, senior, super, master, king. As for him, his parents' talent is not an attribute or a type, so it is normal for him to turn into a growth-type talent. Not long after, Du Feng, who had registered, walked into the team with a bright face. Without waiting for Qin Yi to ask, Du Feng immediately said, "I have the same first talent as my parents. I awakened the fire talent. The enhanced fire talent can enhance the strength of the fire spirit beast contracted with it." Qin Yi smiled and said, "Congratulations." Chapter 3 Spirit Beast Room. After the awakening ceremony, Yi Qiu led the students in his class back to the classroom. There are 520 seniors in Yehai No. 1 High School this year, and 152 of them have successfully awakened their talents. The awakening rate is 29%, which is far higher than the 20% in the outside world. The probability is higher than the outside world. In fact, it is because they are the #1 high school in Yehai. The students who can go to the #1 high school in Yehai are not bad themselves. If they are not bad themselves, the chance of awakening is naturally higher. After Yi Qiu returned to the classroom, he immediately comforted the students who failed to awaken. Then, she briefly explained the basic process of receiving the spirit beast. The process is very simple. Students who have awakened their talents will follow her to collect the spirit beasts later. Students who have not yet awakened their talents need to wait until the students who have awakened their talents have collected them before they can receive them. This world is still very realistic after all. When students who have not yet awakened their talents heard the news, although they were somewhat prepared, they still inevitably felt a little disappointed. After all, no one wants something picked out by someone else. Yi Qiu looked at the students who fell into silence and couldn't help but sigh inwardly. Then, she looked at the students who had successfully awakened and said, "Zhang Yu, Qin Yi, Du Fang, the students whose names are called, follow me." Qin Yi stood up silently and followed Teacher Yi out of the classroom. On the way, Yi Qiu said, "Don't be complacent. The order of selecting spirit beasts is determined by your usual performance, awakened talent effects, whether the talent has been registered, etc. So you don't go in and choose together, but it's similar to the model of awakening talents. The selection of spiritual beasts is done in groups of 30 people, one by one. Registered talents are the same as unregistered talents. It's just that after all the students with registered talents have chosen, the students with unregistered talents will have their turn." Listening to Teacher Ye's sudden words, the expressions of those students who usually had poor grades suddenly changed, and the wails also started to sound. Qin Yi looked at the few people who were crying to Teacher Yi and thought to himself, "My grades are not bad. I shouldn't be ranked behind the top 100. Although his results are not top-notch, there is still no problem in ranking in the middle. He just doesn't know how many points his talent can give him. Of course, if he ranks behind the top 100, he will be lost for a while at most, which is not a big problem. After all, he came here just to see if there was a spiritual beast he liked. If not, he would go home and make a contract with the duck." Thinking of that duck, he couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth slightly. "What are you thinking about?" Du Fang asked curiously. "It's nothing." Qin Yi looked at Du Fang. "Your parents helped you prepare the spiritual beast." Du Fang approached Qin Yi and whispered to him, "My parents prepared a fire-patterned tiger for me that was just a few days old." Qin Yi's eyes couldn't help but widen a little. "Why are you here when there's a fire-patterned tiger?" "Come and see, you also have an extremely rare sailor duck," Du Fang said with a smile. "It seems we have the same idea." Qin Yi smiled knowingly. His idea is that if there are good spiritual beasts in school, he should contract with them first. If there are no good ones, he can go home and contract with the spiritual beasts prepared by his parents. The spirit beast his parents prepared for him is not in a hurry to contract, because it only takes 2 months for a trainee to reach the junior level. After 2 months, he will have an extra contract position, and then he can naturally contract with his parents. The spiritual beast he prepared. Among the spirit beasts prepared for them by the school, there are spirit beasts sent by the Federation. There is a chance that the best spirit beasts will appear among the spirit beasts sent by the Federation, so most people will take a look before making a decision. Another reason why Qin Yi was not in a hurry was that the little duck was already at level 10. A level 10 duck was a bit high for him. The level of the first spiritual beast was too high, which was not good for him, especially since he had awakened the talent to improve his own strength. Every time the spirit beast contracted by itself increases by 1 level, some energy will be fed back to the spirit summoner contracted by itself. Although a little duck with a contract of level 10 will feed back energy far beyond that of a spirit beast with a contract of level 1, no matter how much energy it feeds back, it will not be as much as it can slowly increase from level 1 to level 10. It is precisely because of this factor that he is ready to take a look before talking about it. Not long after, Yi Qiu took them to the spirit beast room. At this time, there were teachers and students from several classes at the door of the spirit beast room, waiting for others to arrive. After waiting for another 10 minutes, when everyone arrived, the person in charge of collecting the spirit beast said, "Hello, students, I am Wang Wu, the person in charge of collecting the spirit beasts this time. You can call me Teacher Wang." The process of receiving the spirit beast is very simple. After Wang Wu briefly explained the process, he continued, "When I lead you to explain the spirit beasts, you can choose the spirit beast. If you like it, you can tell me. If no one snatches it from you, then that spiritual beast is yours. If someone competes with you, then we will give the choice to the spirit beast and let the spirit beast choose its own spiritual master. Teacher Wang, if the second group likes the spirit beast chosen by the first group, does it also have the right to choose?" Some students couldn't help but ask. Wang Wu shook his head. The right to choose is only for the students in the same group. The students in the next group cannot choose the spiritual beasts selected by the previous group, nor can they see the spiritual beasts selected by the previous group. The classmate who asked the question was silent. Wang Wu didn't pay attention and continued, "The classmate whose name will be called later will take a step forward. We will enter the spirit beast room in 5 minutes. Excellent students are given superior treatment. They do not select them one by one. This is the limit of what they can do." Yi Cixi, Chen Xian, Wu Fan. As the names were called one after another, the hearts of the students waiting around them accelerated, as if they could hear their own nervous heartbeats, and the emotion of anticipation filled the air. Du Fang. Wang Wu put down the list in his hand and scanned the crowd. "The student whose name is called will follow me. Other students, please wait quietly." "What a pity," Qin Yi murmured softly. He had already expected this scene, so he was not too disappointed. "I'll go explore the way for you," Du Fang said to Qin Yi, then strode away from the team. In addition to Du Fang, there were 3 students in their 4th class whose names were called. Qin Yi watched their figures retreating away, silently casting his gaze in the direction of Class 1. The leader of the class is a girl. Her long blue-black hair falls like a waterfall on her shoulders, shining with a mysterious luster in the sun, like twinkling stars in the night sky. The girl's name is Yi Cixi, and she has an unknown identity, the daughter of Yi Zhantian, the mayor of Yehai City. Don't ask him why he knew it, just ask that she often went to his house to buy things. Over time, he got to know her. Yi Cixi walked out of the class and turned to look in the direction of Class 4. She looked at Qin Yi, who was standing in the queue and looking at her, her eyebrows slightly wrinkled, her heart full of doubts, and her eyes seemed to be asking, "What's the matter with you?" Qin Yi shrugged and responded with his eyes, "Maybe my grades are too bad." Yi Cixi glared at him, "I'm stupid for not studying hard." Qin Yi. Yi Cixi looked at Qin Yi, who fell into silence. A smile appeared on his face, and then followed Wang Wu into the spirit beast room. Chapter 4: Summoning the Soul Pupil. Since it takes time to select a spirit beast, the first batch of students who did not enter returned to their classrooms under the teacher's words. After returning to the classroom, Qin Yi and others did nothing. They just recounted what had just happened under the curious eyes of their classmates. After the students learned that they were also divided into 3, 6, and 9 grades, their confused mood instantly improved a little, and they even comforted Qin Yi and the others. Unfortunately, the good times did not last long, and within an hour, they began to wonder again. Because the head teacher Yi Qiu called Qin Yi and Wu Xiaoyan out, their names were on the list of the second batch to enter the spirit beast room. When he arrived at the spirit beast room, Qin Yi didn't wait long before he saw the first batch of students entering, led by Wang Wu, and almost all of them walked out of the spirit beast room with smiles of joy. It seems that they are all satisfied. Qin Yi became even more curious about what kind of spirit beasts were in the spirit beast room. Qin Yi looked at Du Fang walking towards him and asked, "How is it? What's the contract?" "There is no contract." Du Fang shook his head. "Although there are 3 good spiritual beasts in it, they are not as good as my fire-patterned tiger." There was a slightly proud look on his face, and those 3 spiritual beasts are not of the fire element. "Okay." Qin Yi nodded, and then heard Wang Wu calling his name, and said goodbye to Du Fang, "Let's go." "Go." Du Feng looked at Qin Ye's leaving figure, turned around and left with several other classmates. Wang Wu watched the second batch of classmates arrive and said, "Follow me." Inside the spirit beast room, everyone seemed to have been cast a restraining spell, standing there dumbfounded. The scene in front of them was like a small world, which was jaw-dropping. Immediately afterwards, all kinds of exclamations, excitement sounded one after another. "It's a little wind bird, such a cute little wind bird. Look, that's a little fire crocodile. There is actually a little fire crocodile in our school. What's the little fire crocodile? Look at the little skeleton sitting there, it's an undead beast. Wow! Our school is awesome." Qin Yi listened to the words around him and looked at the picture that appeared in front of him. He couldn't help but be stunned and felt waves in his heart. The small world in the spirit beast room was like a colorful picture scroll, slowly unfolding in front of his eyes. "There's something." Qin Yi looked down at the grass under his feet, raised his right leg and stepped hard. After feeling the texture of the soil under his feet, he raised his head and looked around carefully. He looked at the green monkey closest to him not far away, and suddenly thought of something. Just when he was about to release the soul-calling pupil on the green monkey, Teacher Wang's voice came from the front. "I think everyone has seen enough." Wang Wu looked at the students who were paying attention and continued, "Follow me. From now on, I will introduce you to the spiritual beasts here as I walk. There are thousands of spirit beasts in the spirit beast room, and I can't possibly introduce them all in a short time. I will only introduce to you spiritual beasts that are rare, powerful, and have high potential. You can raise your hands if you hear about the spiritual beasts you are interested in and want to make a contract. When you see a spirit beast that you are interested in while walking with me, you can also use the spirit summoning pupil on the spirit beast and check the spirit beast's information panel on your own. The spirit beasts in our spirit beast room are all level 1-3 spirit beasts, and your spirit summoning pupils are effective on them." After Wang Wu said a lot of words, he pointed to the green monkey not far away and said, "The green monkey over there is a little green monkey. It is a wind attribute spiritual beast with a medium extraordinary potential. It can evolve into a green wild monkey. Wooden monkey. We originally had 3 animals in our spirit beast room, but we have just contracted 2 of them, and now only the last one is left." When Wang Wu said that there was only the last little green monkey left, 3 students raised their hands in an instant. Wang Wu looked at this scene and said, "Don't worry, you can record the spiritual beasts you want to contract now, and then make a decision after I finish the final explanation. Of course, if you really want to make a contract now, I can also let the little green monkey make the choice. You can think about it more carefully." Wang Wu looked at the 3 classmates who put down their arms and continued to introduce the little green monkey. Not long after he introduced the little green monkey, he looked at the 3 classmates who had just raised their hands. Seeing that they did not raise their hands again, he did not ask, but introduced the little fire crocodile lying in the small lava pool not far away. After Qin Yi listened to Wang Wu's introduction to the 2 spiritual beasts, he couldn't help it anymore and released his soul-evoking pupils at the little green monkey not far away. As he released the soul-calling pupils, an invisible force gathered in his eyes. The next moment, a virtual panel that only he could see appeared in front of him. Race, little green monkey. Level 1, 22 out of 100. Attribute, wind. Potential, medium extraordinary, 2/100. Skills, haste, entry level, 10 out of 100, wind claw, entry level, 7 out of 100. Introduction, an ordinary wind attribute monkey with no talent. It's really different. Qin Yi thought to himself. Although he didn't have the soul summoning pupil, he still knew a thing or two about the effect of the soul summoning pupil. After all, the teacher had taught it in class. Comparing the 2, his soul summoning pupil has 1 more, introduction, and 1 more, level, potential, and, skill, 0 out of 100, than the soul summoning pupil. Currently, it only has these items. As for whether there will be other changes, he is not yet clear. Introduction, it's easy to understand, just read the content. As for 0/100, he has some guesses, but there is no test yet, so it is difficult to draw conclusions prematurely. If this, 0 out of 100, was as he imagined, then he felt like he was about to take off. Qin Yi couldn't help but smile a little as he thought about it. But soon, he seemed to have thought of something, and quickly called out his panel to check the effect of summoning the soul pupil. He looked at the effect of soul-calling eyes and murmured to himself, "It's really experience value. Okay, no need to test, just solve the case." Qin Yi shook his head, feeling a little disappointed. It was over before it even started, and he instantly felt that life was so boring. As for the use of experience points, he knew it without even thinking about it. When the experience points are full, you will be upgraded. Everyone who has played the game knows. So after he solved the case and knew the effect of his own soul-calling pupils, he followed Teacher Wang honestly and began to observe the surrounding spirit beasts. If you see someone who is interested, throw in the soul-summoning eye, and if you are not interested, just ignore it. Just like that, he looked at it and suddenly froze on the spot. Chapter 5: The First Contract Beast. Race, Little Rock Turtle. Level 1, 67 out of 100. Attribute, Earth. Potential, Medium Extraordinary, 1/100. Talent, Thorn Tortoise Shell. Skills, Earth Shield, Entry, 2 out of 100, Rock Armor, Entry, 8 out of 100. Introduction: It was originally an ordinary little rock turtle, but after accidentally eating a mysterious slate at the beach one night 10 days ago, it became no longer ordinary. It is currently adapting to the power given by the mysterious slate. Qin Yi looked at the virtual panel in front of him, then looked up at the little rock turtle sleeping in the crack of the rocks not far away, and fell silent. The rocks were so big that the little rock turtle was so hidden that even Teacher Wang didn't notice it. Of course, it is also possible that Teacher Wang noticed it, but because the little rock turtle was not very rare in his eyes, he simply ignored it. After all, there are not only this one small rock turtle around, but 7 or 8. Medium Extraordinary, and Talented. Qin Yi's face was expressionless, but his heart was full of doubts. Isn't Little Rock Turtle a low-level extraordinary? Confused, he released his soul-calling pupils without hesitation towards the little rock turtle lying on the sand next to him. He looked at the words, "Lower Extraordinary," displayed on the information of this little rock turtle, and made a decision in his heart. He silently noted the appearance of the little rock turtle in the rock crevice, and then turned to look at the other spiritual beasts. 10 minutes later, Wang Wu led the students to the end of the spirit beast room. He looked at the students and asked, "Are there any spirit beasts you want to contract with? Please think carefully, everyone only has one chance, unless someone competes with you. When you fail in the competition, you will have a second chance to choose." As soon as he finished speaking, the students around him quickly raised their arms, including Qin Yi. Wang Wu scanned the crowd and found that only 5 students did not raise their hands, so he began to ask and register one by one. "Are you sure you want to make a contract with Little Rock Turtle?" When Wang Yan heard that Qin Yi wanted to contract a spiritual beast, he couldn't help but look up at Qin Yi. It wasn't that the Little Rock Turtle was bad, but that Qin Yi chose an operation with only low extraordinary potential when there were still dozens of medium extraordinary ones left, which made him a little confused. "Teacher Wang, I have taken a fancy to a small rock turtle and I want to choose it." Qin Yi responded with an extremely firm expression. Wang Yan was silent for a moment, nodded slightly, and continued to register the remaining unregistered classmates. It didn't take long before Wang Wu, who had registered, took his classmates who wanted to contract spirit beasts and searched for the target they wanted to contract within the spirit beast room. The search journey is naturally to go back the same way. If they see it on the way, let them make a contract at the same place. If they don't see it, they will naturally continue to move forward. In this way, they made a contract as they walked, and soon they arrived at the area where the little rock turtle lived. Wang Yan took Qin Yi to the area where the little rock turtles were, pointed at the little rock turtles around him and asked, "Which end?" "The one hiding in the crevice." Qin Yi pointed at the little rock turtle still sleeping in the crevice. "There really is one hiding inside." Wang Yan looked at it with a hint of curiosity. "Are you sure it's this one?" Wang Yan asked again. "Okay." Qin Yi nodded vigorously. "I just looked at it with the spirit summoning eye." "Okay." Wang Yan released the spirit summoning eye towards the little rock turtle. He wanted to see what was so special about the little rock turtle that Qin Yeqiao had missed so much. Hey! Wang Yan said in surprise, the potential of this little rock turtle is actually medium extraordinary. He also has talent. Teacher Wang, I saw this accidentally. I feel it has an opportunity, so I want to take a gamble. Qin Yi scratched his head in embarrassment. It should be caused by accidentally eating a heavenly material and earthly treasure before being captured. Wang Yan explained to himself, looked at Qin Yi and said, "Are you sure you want to contract it? Its chances may not be good. Big as you imagine. The potential of spiritual beasts is not static. The potential of spiritual beasts can be improved. However, improvement requires paying some costs, such as evolving into other spiritual beasts through one's own efforts, such as eating heavenly materials and earthly treasures." Okay. Qin Yi nodded vigorously. He can see more information than Wang Yan, so he naturally knows that what little rock turtle eats is not an ordinary treasure of heaven and earth. If the little rock turtle ate ordinary heavenly materials and earthly treasures, then the introduction he saw would not be the mysterious slate, but the name of the heavenly materials and earthly treasures it had eaten. The treasures of heaven, materials and earth that can appear as a mysterious slate are most likely to be treasures of heaven, materials and earth that far exceed his imagination, otherwise it would not appear as a mysterious slate. Okay, then you can make a contract. Wang Yan stopped persuading and carried the little rock turtle hiding in the cracks of the rocks to an empty place aside so that Qin Yi could make a contract. Although the little rock turtle is called a little rock turtle, it is not too small. Qin Yi visually inspected it and found that it was still nearly 70 centimeters long. The little rock turtle that was suddenly picked up by Wang Yan opened its eyes in a daze. When it was fully opened, it had been placed on the open ground by Wang Yan. Qin Yi looked at the dazed little rock turtle, squatted down, looked at the glands that had not come out of the turtle shell, touched its yellow-brown, smooth and round shell, and said softly, "Please give me more advice in the future." Qin Yi didn't say any more exciting words. He just said a simple sentence, then stood up and unleashed the contract magic circle on Xiao Yengui under the gaze of Teacher Wang. The method of contracting spirit beasts appeared in his mind out of thin air as soon as he awakened his talent and became a spiritual summoner. So at this time, he was using the method in his mind to contract with the little rock turtle. When the contract formation came out, the little rock turtle was still in a confused state. It looked at the formation under its feet and did not stick out the glands in the turtle shell. Instead, it turned its little glands in the turtle shell in confusion. When the light of the contract dissipated and an unknown force appeared out of thin air in its body, it woke up instantly. But soon, it entered a strange state under the unknown force. On the other side, after Qin Yi successfully contracted with little rock turtle, his calm face couldn't help but reveal a smile. He felt the power that little rock turtle fed back to him, and the smile on his face became brighter. Although you only have a little strength, this is the first step to becoming a strong person. This step is very crucial. After Wang Wu saw that Qin Ye's contract was successful, he said, "Put the little rock turtle away, let's go." Okay. Qin Yi looked thoughtfully at the little rock turtle lying there motionless, as if he had entered a strange state. He squatted down calmly and whispered softly, "Little turtle, I will take you into the spirit summoning space first. You will not be affected in the spirit summoning space." Xiao Yengui, who had his eyes tightly closed, vaguely heard Qin Ye's words, opened his eyes slightly, glanced at Qin Yi, and closed them again. Qin Yi breathed a sigh of relief when he saw the little rock turtle's movements, and then began to try to take the little rock turtle into the spirit summoning space. The spirit summoning space is a special space opened by the spirit summoner after contracting a spirit beast. The area of the space will increase as the spirit summoner's strength increases. Under Qin Ye's power, the little rock turtle's body gradually began to weaken, and soon disappeared. Chapter 6 New Changes in the Little Rock Turtle. In the classroom of grade 3-4, Qin Yi walked in alone. Wu Xiaoyan, who left with him, did not accompany him. Instead, he chatted with female classmates from other classes in the back. As soon as he walked into the classroom, Qin Yi immediately felt the looks from the whole class. He looked at the curious eyes of his classmates and knew what they were curious about, but he did not say anything. Instead, he scratched his head and asked with a smile, "Am I so good-looking today?" Roll. Stop being narcissistic. Have you contracted a spiritual beast? Qin Yi, what spiritual beast did you contract with? Brother Qin, are there any spiritual beasts with medium extraordinary potential inside? In an instant, all kinds of questions blurted out from the students' mouths. Qin Yi did not respond immediately, but walked to his seat and shouted, "Stop." As soon as the words fell, the noisy classroom suddenly became quiet. Seeing this, Qin Yi raised the corner of his mouth slightly. "I'm pretty lucky. I contracted a small rock turtle with medium extraordinary potential. A total of 25 people in our batch have contracted spirit beasts, and only 5 people have not contracted, so I can't say how many medium potential spirit beasts are left." "Okay, no more, don't ask me again. Ask Wu Xiaoyan later. She knows more than me." Qin Yi decisively sold Wu Xiaoyan. Listening to Qin Ye's response, the student started chattering again. "Are you crazy?" "I'm not crazy." "Then why are you contracting Xiaoyangui?" Du Feng, who was sitting next to Qin Yi, had doubts in his eyes. Du Feng is Qin Ye's desk mate, and it is precisely because of this that Qin Yi is very familiar with Du Feng. That little rock turtle is a bit different from other little rock turtles. Qin Yi explained briefly. "Even if they are different, little rock turtle is not as strong as your sailor duck." Du Feng whispered anxiously, "Sailor duck is a low-level elite spiritual beast. The potential of spiritual beasts from low to high is extraordinary: elite, commander, lord, king, emperor. Trainee spiritual summoners can only contract with spirit beasts of level 10 and below, and most of the spirit beasts within level 10 are young spirit beasts that have just been born, have not grown up, and have not evolved for the first time. Before they grow up and evolve for the first time, most of their potentials will not be higher than those of lower elites. Only a very few spirit beasts within level 10 will have higher potentials than lower elites, and these are higher than those of lower elites. Most of the spirit beasts are powerful spirit beasts, and these kind of spirit beasts are hard to come by. It was also because spirit beasts with low elite potential were the best initial spirit beasts they could encounter, so Du Feng was so anxious when he heard that Qin Yi had signed a contract for a small rock turtle with medium extraordinary abilities. "I know, but its level is too high." Qin Yi shook his head helplessly. His talent destined him to be unsuitable for spiritual beasts whose contract level was far higher than his. Listening to Qin Ye's words, Du Feng couldn't help but think of Qin Ye's talent. He opened his mouth and finally patted his shoulder. "I hope your feeling is correct, otherwise your discomfort will be in vain. The income from the first contracted defensive spirit beast is far lower than that of the offensive spirit beast. Don't panic. When I reach the junior level, I will make a contract with the little duck. When the time comes, I will attack and defend, and I will be invincible." Qin Yi didn't panic at all. Just because he doesn't have a contract with Sailor Duck now, it doesn't mean that he won't make a contract with him in the future. After all, Sailor Duck is very powerful. A spiritual beast that has been a low-level elite since its childhood is not comparable to the extraordinary. No matter how invincible it is, it's not as powerful as my fire-patterned tiger. My little duck is of the water type, and the water type overcomes the fire type. You don't know that, right? The one you are contracting with now is not a sailor duck. I don't have a contract, but I can carry it with me. You're cheating. I'm not lying, but no one stipulates that spirit summoners are not allowed to carry spirit summoning balls. You are still a little young. Qin Yi looked at Du Feng, who fell into silence and couldn't help laughing. Du Feng rolled his eyes and said he didn't want to pay attention to him. Afternoon. Yi Qiu glanced around at the excited students sitting in their seats, and said slowly, "I know you can't wait, but I have a few more words to say. Spirit beasts are our close companions. I don't want to hear you abuse your own spirit beasts. There are still more than 20 days before the college entrance examination on June 1st. During these 20 days, students who have awakened their talents should seize the time to train their contract beasts, upgrade themselves to the junior level before the college entrance examination, and strive for promotion if they are able. To the intermediate level, becoming an intermediate spiritual summoner before the college entrance examination is a super bonus, and you are guaranteed to go to one of the top 10 prestigious schools. Students who have not awakened their talents, you must also work hard to cultivate a relationship with the spirit beast you have just selected, and strive to gain the teacher's approval so that you can truly own it. Students who have not awakened talents are different from those who have awakened talents. Students with awakened talents are real spiritual summoners, and they can directly contract with spirit beasts and take them away. As for students who do not have awakening talents, although they can choose a spiritual beast, they cannot take it away immediately after choosing it. They need to develop a relationship with the spirit beast they choose under the subsequent training of professional teachers, so that the spirit beast they choose becomes dependent on them. Only when you develop a sense of dependence will the school agree to let you take your chosen spirit beast home. Before they have no sense of dependence, they can only cultivate feelings in school and under the eyes of teachers. If the spirit beast you choose has not become dependent on you before the college entrance examination, then the school will take back the reward and the spirit beast. Being withdrawn by the school means that you may not be suitable to take the path of a spirit beast master. In short, it is difficult to become a spirit beast master. Only a few people in each school succeed in the end, and most people will eventually be persuaded to quit and take other paths. After Yi Qiu said a lot of things, he finally said, "Get out of class is over, see you tomorrow. Let's go." Qin Yi said hello to Du Feng, then picked up his black satchel and walked toward the door. "Wait for me." Du Feng quickly followed. "Mom, I'm back." Qin Yi, who was carrying his satchel, shouted towards the store like an arrow, and went upstairs in a hurry. Baya, who was chatting with a customer, heard Qin Yi's voice and couldn't help but muttered, "Is this kid so anxious?" Upstairs. Qin Yi threw the black satchel on the bed and excitedly began to summon his contracted beast. Under his summons, the contract beast Little Rock Turtle soon appeared on the wooden floor in front of him. Qin Yi looked at the little rock turtle who was sleeping soundly and was not affected by him at all. The corner of his mouth twitched slightly, as expected of a turtle. "Let me see what's happened to you." Race, Little Rock Turtle. Level 1, 82 out of 100. Attribute, Earth. Potential, Medium Extraordinary, 52/100. Talent, Thorns Tortoise Shell, Kuan Gua. Skills, Earth Shield, Entry, 2 out of 100, Rock Armor, Entry, 8 out of 100. Introduction, it was originally an ordinary little rock turtle, but one night 10 days ago. Thorn Tortoise Shell, Active Talent, the armor scales on the turtle shell are upturned, which can achieve the effect of thorns. Kuan Gua, Passive Talent, the Kuan Gua of Bagua, reduces one's own presence, increases one's own defense, one's own recovery speed, and cannot be detected by detection skills. The above effects are more effective when in contact with the ground. Earth Shield, Active Skill, the earth element forms a circle to wrap itself, which can resist damage. Rock Armor, Active Skill, the earth element condenses into armor to wrap itself up and enhance its own defense. It's almost level 2. The potential is a little higher and the talent is one more. This new talent is quite powerful. It's a pity that this is not an attack talent. Although Qin Yi felt regretful in his heart, he was not disappointed. After all, this talent was given to him for nothing. Talents are different from skills. Talents have no proficiency. The intensity released is the strongest power that can be released by his current strength. Skills have proficiency, and proficiency determines the strength of the skills you release. As for why he can see the face of Little Rock Turtle, that's because he is its spiritual summoner. Naturally, the spiritual summoner can see the ability of his contracted beast. After all, how can a spiritual summoner not see the ability of his own contracted beast? At the same time, after reading Xiaoyanghui's panel, he felt more and more that the natural materials and earthly treasures that Xiaoyanghui consumed were extraordinary. Ordinary heavenly materials and earthly treasures will not increase so much potential, and ordinary heavenly materials and earthly treasures will not make spiritual beasts suddenly have more talents. So, after a little meditation, he learned something. That is, he may have really found a treasure. I just don't know if the effect of this talent is really what it says. Let mom try it later. Chapter 7 Juga. Silly son, there's something about this turtle you contracted. Baya exclaimed as she stared at the panel information displayed in front of her. Mom, what did you see? Qingyi suddenly became curious. The information on my panel is level 1, low-level extraordinary, no talent, only an earth shield skill. Baya looked at Qingyi suspiciously. You didn't lie to your mother, right? How could I lie to you? Qingyi was afraid that his mother would not believe it, so he said to Xiao Yangui, Little Yengue, release the rock armor and show it to mommy. Mommy will be happy, but she can make so many delicious things for you. During the time they spent together with Little Rock Turtle not long ago, they had already had preliminary communication, and Little Rock Turtle also knew that it had become someone's contract beast at this time. Little Rock Turtle could only happily accept the situation of becoming someone's contracted beast. Of course, there is nothing you can do if you don't accept it. After all, this has become a reality. The sleepy Little Rock Turtle suddenly became more energetic after hearing that there was food. It looked at Baya and saw Baya nodding with a smile. It raised its head and growled, yeah. With a low roar, patches of earthy yellow elements instantly appeared around the Little Rock Turtle, and the earthy yellow elements instantly enveloped the Little Rock Turtle. The next moment, there was a bang, and the Little Rock Turtle transformed like a caiman rider. Under the rupture of the earth yellow elements, he took on a new look, and his whole body was covered with earth yellow armor. After releasing the rock armor, the Little Rock Turtle looked up at Baya and roared again, as if to say, look, I've transformed. Wow! He really has the skill of rock armor. Baya exclaimed. Yes, my Little Rock Turtle is very strong. Qingyi raised his head proudly. Counting his previous life, although he has a mental age of nearly 40 years old, he still looks like an immature child in front of his mother in this life. Yes, there is a future. Baya nodded vigorously and continued, take good care of him, and I will help you make food. When Qingyi heard this, he quickly shouted, thank you, Mom. Remember to give the Little Rock Turtle a name. After Baya said that, she turned and left Qingyi's bedroom. I know. After Qingyi saw his mother leaving, he lowered his head and looked at Xiao Yengue, who was still in the state of rock armor, and said, Xiao Yengue, my mother is a senior spiritual cultivator. You will be in good hands soon. Little Rock Turtle rubbed Qingyi's trousers excitedly. Qingyi squatted down, stretched out his right hand and stroked the rock armor of the Little Rock Turtle. Little Rock Turtle, have you always wanted to sleep after eating the mysterious slate? There are very few waking hours in the day. Do you feel like you've become a little smarter? Then let's call you Juga. Yeah. After the Little Rock Turtle subconsciously nodded, it suddenly felt something was wrong. It instantly looked up at Qingyi, who stood up and shouted, huh? What do you mean? Qingyi looked at Xiao Yengue with a smile, it's not interesting. From now on, you will be called Juga. Are you satisfied with the name Juga? Qingyi was afraid that Xiao Yengue wouldn't understand, so he picked up his cell phone and typed the word Juga in the memo, then brought it to Xiao Yengue and said, look, this is your name, Juga. The Little Rock Turtle looked at the phone screen with confusion. It looked at the two words displayed on the phone screen, and its confused eyes became brighter and brighter. Then, it raised its head happily and called Qingyi, This is a good name, I like it very much. As long as you like it. Qingyi laughed and touched Juga's forehead, you can release the rock armor skill. Yeah. Okay. The rock armor on Juga's body turned into earthy yellow elements under its consciousness and disappeared into the air. After Qingyi made a contract with Juga, although Juga couldn't speak human words, he still understood what Juga meant. This is the telepathy between the contracted beast and the spiritual summoner. Qingyi looked at Juga, who had unlocked the rock armor skill, and a smile appeared on his lips. Bagua and Juga are a perfect match. When he first saw the Kuan Gua in the introduction to the effect of Kuan Gua, he hadn't thought about the Bagua array yet. He only thought of it when his mother came. There is no information about the Bagua array in Lingxing, but there is a lot in Blue Star. So when he thought about the Bagua array, he knew that the mysterious slate that the Little Rock Turtle ate must be related to the Bagua. Things related to the Bagua may not be good, but combined with the effect of the new talent, Kuangua, obtained by the little rock turtle, this must be something good. Even his mother can't see the effect of Kuangua, and his mother is a master spirit summoner. So after thinking about the gossip, he decisively decided on the name of the little rock turtle. Zhuge looked at the smile on Qin Ye's face and looked a little confused. My own spiritual summoner seems a little not very smart. Follow me, I'll take you to see your future companions. Qin Yi came back to his senses and waved to Zhuge. Zhuge looked at Qin Yi walking out of the room in a few steps, and suddenly fell silent when he thought about the speed at which he was walking. My own spiritual summoner seems to be really not very smart. When Zhuge saw Qin Ye's figure about to disappear, he quickly shouted, "Yeah. Ahaha." Qin Yi, who was raising his feet to take the next step, was slightly startled when he heard the voice coming from behind him. He put down his steps and turned to look behind him. What's wrong? As soon as he finished speaking, he saw Zhuge's fast-moving pace, and then he fell silent. I'm sorry, I forgot you were a turtle. Qin Yi quickly turned around and walked forward, hugging the little rock turtle, and then he fell silent again. He exerted force, let go of his hand in embarrassment, and scratched his head. Let me send you to the spirit summoning space. The little rock turtle couldn't help but rolled his eyes and nodded. Qin Yi looked at the little rock turtle that turned into light and entered the spirit summoning space, and muttered, "It seems that I need to help Zhuge get a skill related to movement speed, otherwise it will be difficult to do it. Being too slow is not a good thing for him or Zhuge. Of course, as Zhuge's strength increases, its speed will definitely increase, but no matter how much it increases, its speed will also be its weak point, so it is still crucial to learn a skill related to speed. At least Zhuge's speed must keep up with the speed of normal spiritual beast movement. We'll talk about speed later. Let's go find the Pirate King first." Qin Yi put aside the thoughts in his mind and walked out of the room. "Mom, where is the Pirate King?" Qin Yi shouted towards the kitchen. "In the backyard, at your dad's place." Bai Ye's voice came from the kitchen. "I'm going to see the Pirate King and I'll be back later." "Don't worry, we still have half an hour before dinner, remember to bring the Pirate King here." "Good." Qin Yi came to the door, put on his black sneakers, quickly left the door and walked downstairs. Chapter 8 One Piece. Ga. Ga. Quack. From the backyard, as far as the eye can see, the night sea stretches endlessly like a huge piece of black satin, stretching as far as the eye can see. On the abandoned wooden boat wreckage nearby, a light blue little duck in a white sailor uniform stood proudly at the sharp corner of the wooden boat like a lone warrior, holding high the long knife in his right hand and singing loudly in the sea breeze. "One Piece, you are imitating the captain again." Quack. Quack, quack, quack. Sailor Duck heard the voice coming from behind and turned around excitedly. It looked at Qin Yi, who was walking towards it not far away. It waved its long knife and howled with excitement. While shouting, it did not forget to jump off the wooden boat and run towards Qin Yi. "This speed is normal." Qin Yi complained in a low voice, looked at the little duck flying towards him, and continued with a smile, "One Piece, I have successfully become a spiritual summoner, and I can help you become one right away. The real Pirate King." The little duck that came over was slightly startled when he heard Qin Ye's words, and then started dancing excitedly, "Quack. Quack, quack, quack." I know you are very excited, but don't worry, wait a little longer. When I become a junior spiritual summoner, I will contract you as soon as possible." Qin Yi knelt down and touched the Pirate King. The Pirate King exclaimed in confusion, "Quack? Can't we make a contract now?" Qin Yi looked at One Piece's puzzled look and knew what he was wondering about, so he explained with a smile, "I have awakened a growth talent, and I need to contract a spiritual beast that has just been born, so that I can maximize my talent. And your level is too high, so you need to wait a little longer for me to become a junior spiritual summoner." Quack. Okay, the Pirate King lowered his head in disappointment. "It only takes a few days to wait, and I can take you out now, so we can still grow together." Qin Yi patted his chest and vowed, "After becoming a spiritual summoner, I can use the spiritual ball. When the time comes, we will grow together, and when I become a junior spiritual summoner, I will contract with you as soon as possible. Quack. After hearing Qin Ye's assurance, the lost Pirate King felt much better instantly. Looking at the Pirate King who was in a better mood, Qin Ye continued, Pirate King, let me introduce you to a companion. With that said, he summoned Zhuge under the curious gaze of the Pirate King. Zhuge groaned, raised his head and looked around. Soon, it saw the Pirate King standing by and looking at it with a hint of hostility. The Pirate King pointed his sword at Zhuge and said to Qin Ye, Ga. Is that it? Zhuge, male, is a small rock turtle with earth attributes. He is your companion. Qin Ye looked at the knife in the Pirate King's hand and said speechlessly, put the knife down. Quack. The Pirate King put down the knife in his hand. Qin Ye rolled his eyes, pointed at the Pirate King Zhuge and introduced, One Piece, he is a male like you, a water-type sailor duck. Zhuge, yeah. Pirate King, Ga. A turtle and a duck greeted each other. Very good. Qin Ye nodded with satisfaction, let's go have a meal. After the meal, we will train. Zhuge, yeah. Pirate King, Ga. When Qin Ye was about to put Zhuge away, a handsome man walked over from the side and said, Son, is this the little turtle you contracted with? Yes, Dad. Qin Ye introduced to his father Qin Ming, this is the little rock turtle I contracted. I call him Zhuge. This turtle is not bad, it's a good turtle. Qin Ming closed the information panel of the little rock turtle in front of him and nodded slightly. Regarding Zhuge's magic, he had heard Baiya say it not long ago. Now that he has actually seen it, he feels more and more that this turtle is unusual. This is not a simple turtle. Qin Ye looked at the duck standing nearby who was wearing a pirate hat and was about the same height as his father, and shouted, Uncle Duck. Captain Duck is the evolved form of Sailor Duck. He is also the third contract beast of his father, who named him Night Duck. Night Duck smiled and said, in the blink of an eye, Xiao Yi awakened and became a spiritual summoner. When a spiritual beast reaches level 30, it can communicate with people consciously. When it reaches level 50, it can speak fluently like humans. Hee. Qin Ye scratched his head in embarrassment. Let's go to eat and chat while we eat. Qin Ming turned around and walked forward. Okay. After Qin Ye took Zhuge into the spirit summoning space, he quickly followed with the Pirate King. Living room. 3 people, a duck and a turtle are enjoying a delicious dinner. After eating, Qin Ming asked Qin Ye, Son, what talent have you awakened? Baiya also looked at her son curiously. Qin Ye finished his last bite of food, looked at them and responded, Mom and Dad, the talent I awakened is a growth talent. The effect is to contract a spirit beast with different attributes. After the spirit beast strength increases, the feedback I receive will also be the more. Son, your talent is amazing. Qin Ming and Baiya both showed happy smiles. Qin Ye was stunned, is this talent very good? Very good. Qin Ming nodded vigorously, although this talent does not add much to combat effectiveness in the early stage, it is very good for you. Qin Ming looked at the confused Qin Ye and continued, the sooner you have growth talents, the better, especially those that strengthen yourself. It will be too late when you become the King of Heaven and have this kind of growth-oriented talent that strengthens yourself. Although contracted beasts can feed themselves back, without this kind of growth-oriented talent that strengthens themselves, it is still too slow. If we want to achieve the power of punching mountains without strengthening our own talents, we must at least become king level. And with the ability to strengthen one's own talent, this kind of strength can reach the master level in advance. If the talent is incredible, it is not impossible for a super to have this kind of strength. After Qin Ming said a lot of words, he concluded, in short, this kind of talent is not weak. A growth-type talent with such a high limit like yours is an extremely rare talent, and the effect will only be stronger. It's just that you have to think about it again when you contract a spiritual beast in the future. Of course, you can't think about it all the time. You must think clearly before advancing to the next level, because you must contract the spirit beast as soon as you reach the next level, so as not to waste your talents. Understood? I guess I understand. Qin Yi nodded slightly. Qin Ming looked at his son's appearance and asked with a strange expression, "Do you really understand?" "I really understand." Qin Yi smiled and said, "I think so too." "Huh, you are indeed my son." Qin Ming laughed instantly. Baya looked at the father and son, couldn't help but rolled her eyes, and said angrily, "Eat." "Mom, I've eaten." Qin Yi looked at his parents and said, "Mom and Dad, do you have any speed skills? My turtle walks too slowly." Zhuge, who was eating not far away, heard the word turtle and couldn't help but look up at Qin Yi and the others. The speed of the little rock turtle is indeed not very good. Qin Ming thought for a moment and then said, "I will help you find it and give it to you tomorrow morning." "Thank you, Dad. I can give it to you now, but you can't use it on him now. You have to wait until he reaches level 5 before you can use it on him." "Dad, don't worry, I know. It's good to know." Chapter 9 Turtle Duck Showdown. If you don't learn skills before level 5, it's not because you can't learn them, but because the level of the spirit beast will increase very quickly before level 5, and it will be faster if you learn the skills. It will directly upgrade the level 1 spirit beast to level 2, and upgrade the level 2 to level 3, which will speed up the growth rate of the spirit beast. Accelerating the growth rate of the spirit beast in the early stage will have a chance to change the growth trajectory of the spirit beast. Changing the growth trajectory of a spiritual beast will easily turn an originally defensive spiritual beast into an offensive and speedy spiritual beast. Therefore, if you don't want to change the spirit beast, it is best not to learn skills before level 5 and let it grow naturally. And skills cannot be learned randomly. Learning too many skills will also change the spirit beast itself. So under normal circumstances, if you can't learn it, don't learn it. Unless you encounter the best skills, it is not recommended to learn skills during the growth period. As for how to learn skills, that's even simpler. Learning skills is to eat related heavenly materials and earthly treasures. For example, Zhuge, he only had the talent of Kuangua after eating the mysterious slate. Without the mysterious slate, he would not have the ultimate talent of Kuangua. Backyard, an open space. After finishing his meal, Qin Yi looked at Zhuge, who was standing not far away on the left, and the Pirate King on the right, and shouted, "Zhuge releases the Earth Shield." The Pirate King waits for Zhuge to release the Earth Shield before releasing the Water Sword on him. Zhuge, yeah. Pirate King, ga. When Zhuge released the Earth Shield, Qin Yi released a soul-calling pupil towards the Pirate King. He hasn't seen the attributes of One Piece yet. Race, Sailor Duck. Level 10, 12 out of 100. Attribute, Water. Potential, Low Elite, 55 out of 100. Talent, Plunder. Skills, Water Jet, Proficiency, 27 out of 100, Water Gun, Proficiency, 18 out of 100, Fighting Will, Entry, 72 out of 100. Introduction, a little duck who dreams of becoming the Pirate King. Since the Pirate King is not a beast contracted by Qin Yi, he cannot see the effects of the Pirate King's talents and skills. He can only guess the effects of the talents and skills based on the names he sees. Of course, among the 1 talent and 3 skills of the Pirate King, except for the uncertain effect of the plunder talent, he knows the effects of the other 3 skills. After all, his learning is not in vain. These most basic skill effects are still taught by teachers every day in school. This is also a compulsory course for every student to go to school. Bang! While Qin Yi was stunned, the Pirate King had already swung his sword and struck the Earth Element Light Shield released by Zhuge. The Earth Elemental Light Shield instantly shattered like glass, turning into pieces of brilliance and dissipating in the air. A crushing match without any suspense was clearly displayed before Qin Yi's eyes. Qin Yi was stunned for a moment, then shook his head. Sure enough, he still can't withstand the attack of a level 10 spirit beast. But it's okay, at least it can block it for a while. Qin Yi said again. Although the Pirate King's sword easily broke through the Earth Shield, this was only after he released the Water Sword. If he didn't release the Water Sword, Qin Yi estimated that the Pirate King would have to strike 2 or 3 times to break through the Earth Shield. Thinking of this, Qin Yi shouted to Zhuge, who was already stunned on the spot, release the earth shield again. Zhuge looked at Qin Yi, and when he saw Qin Yi nodded, he released the earth shield again. At the same time, Qin Yi said to the Pirate King, "Pirate King, don't release the water sword this time, just slash with the knife. See how many times it takes you to cut through Zhuge's earth shield." "Gah!" The Pirate King screamed, and after shouting again at Zhuge who had released the earth shield, he raised the long knife in his hand and slashed at the earth shield. Just listen to the sound of bang, and the earth shield breaks in response. With just one strike, the Pirate King easily broke through Zhuge's earth shield. "Your attack is a bit strong." Qin Yi had a look of shock on his face. The Pirate King's operation of directly breaking through the earth shield with his sword made Qin Yi feel stupid. Quack! The Pirate King proudly puffed up his chest. "It's not a test. There is no point in testing it with you. You are too strong." Qin Yi shook his head helplessly. "We will go to the Sunshine Novice Paradise for a test tomorrow and conduct a practical test there." In fact, this time it was not meaningless. At least he knew that Zhuge's earth shield could withstand a skill attack from a level 10 offensive spirit beast. This is still very critical. At the same time, he once again realized the power of Kuangua. Without the effect of Kuangua, he did not believe that Zhuge's earth shield could withstand the Pirate King's water sword. Without the effect of Kuangua, the water sword struck by one piece before would definitely be able to hit Zhuge's body, thus ending the battle instantly. There is no need to swing the second sword like now, and the second sword may not even be able to kill. Gah! Hearing the word actual combat, the Pirate King instantly became excited. On the other side, Zhuge was still immersed in shock. He had not yet recovered from One Piece's sword. "Wake up." Qin Yi walked to Zhuge, shook him, and comforted him. "Don't panic, the Pirate King is so strong because he is already level 10. You can withstand a blow from a level 10 spirit beast, it's already amazing." Zhuge looked at Qin Yi, his eyes a little confused. Seeing this, Qin Yi stroked Zhuge and continued, "You are only level 1. Level 1 can withstand attacks from level 10 spiritual beasts, but there are very few of them, so you are already great." "Huh? Really?" Zhuge didn't believe it. "Of course it's true. Why did I lie to you?" Qin Yi said with a smile, "If you don't believe it, let's go to Sunshine Novice Park tomorrow and let the Pirate King show it to you." "Yeah. Okay." Zhuge began to believe it when he heard this. Although you are stronger than most level 1 defensive spirit beasts, you cannot be complacent. You are only level 1 now. If there is 1, there will be 2, and if there is 2, there will be 3, so you still have a long way to go. I have a long way to go. Qin Yi looked at the Pirate King standing aside and said, "Same for you." "Gah." The Pirate King raised his head high, indicating that we are not the same. Qin Yi smiled and rubbed the Pirate King's head, and continued to the turtle and the duck, "Okay, no more words. In short, no matter how long our road is, we will walk together." Qin Yi stood up and looked at the endless night sea in the distance. He was silent for a long time, not knowing what he was thinking. Then he turned around silently and said, "Let's go." "Gah." The Pirate King quickly followed. "Yeah. Wait for me, I can't walk fast." Zhuge Sheng climbed up helplessly. This time, Qin Yi did not take Zhuge into the spirit summoning space, but slowed down and walked slowly towards Zhuge and the pirate dynasty. After returning home, Qin Ming looked at a man, a turtle and a duck who came into the house. He took out a small blue ball from his pocket and threw it to Qin Yi. "Go on." "Ah." Qin Yi quickly caught the blue ball and asked Qin Ming, "Dad, what is this?" Qin Ming responded calmly, "Water Attribute Soul Summoning Ball." "What?" Qin Ye's eyes widened instantly. Then, he excitedly ran to Qin Ming and shouted, "Thank you, Dad. Hurry up and conquer the Pirate King, don't let him wait too long." Qin Ming smiled and pointed at the Pirate King standing at the door. "I'll go right away." Qin Yi turned around and walked towards the Pirate King. Chapter 10 Skill Fruit. One Piece, are you ready? Qin Yi came to One Piece and looked at him excitedly. Ga! Ready! The Pirate King shouted loudly. Qin Yi raised the corners of his mouth slightly and pressed his finger on the small dot in the middle of the blue ball in his hand. The next moment, the small blue ball, which was only the size of a small steamed bun, instantly enlarged several times, becoming a little bigger than a large steamed bun. Qin Yi held the big blue ball in his hand and continued towards the Pirate King, I will wrong you first. When I become a junior spiritual summoner, I will contract with you as soon as possible. Ga! The Pirate King nodded vigorously. Immediately afterwards, Qin Yi threw the big blue ball in his hand towards the Pirate King. When the Pirate King saw the big blue ball flying towards him, he made a loud noise and bumped towards the big blue ball gently. The moment the big blue ball touched the Pirate King, the big blue ball opened instantly, and a blue light rushed out of the big blue ball like lightning across the sky and struck towards the Pirate King. In an instant, the blue light enveloped the Pirate King. Under the blue light, the Pirate King flew into the big blue ball. Boom! The big blue ball that fell to the ground began to shake on the wooden floor under everyone's gaze. It shook a few times, and then calmed down with a beep. Qin Yi watched this scene, clenched his fist, waved it vigorously, walked forward excitedly, and picked up the big blue ball that fell to the ground. He looked at the big blue ball in his hand, pressed the big dot in the middle of the blue ball again, and threw it into the sky. The next moment, the big blue ball opened from the middle of the dot, and the blue light once again rushed out of the big blue ball like lightning and rushed towards the ground. Immediately afterwards, the Pirate King appeared in front of Qin Yi and others. Qin Yi released the Pirate King. Ga! The Pirate King who reappeared shouted and looked up at Qin Yi. Qin Yi looked at the energetic Pirate King standing over there, and then at Zhuge who was lying there in a daze, and smiled, very good. We will go to the Sunshine Novice Paradise after school tomorrow afternoon. Pirate King, Ga! Zhuge, yeah. The next day. Morning. Qin Ming looked at Qin Yi walking out of the room, pointed at the earthy yellow fruit that resembled a cylindrical weight on the table, and said, Power Control Fruit, you can get the skill, Power Control, after eating it. The skill effect of Power Control is that you can control your own weight as you wish. Zhuge can control his own weight after learning this skill, so that he can be as light as a swallow. Well, conversely, it can also be as stable as a mountain. I selected this with great difficulty from thousands of skill fruits. It is definitely suitable for Zhuge. Qin Yi, who was standing at the door of the living room, listened to his father's words and looked at the proud look on his face. He walked forward excitedly and said, Thank you, Dad, this is indeed suitable for Zhuge. What Dad said was a bit exaggerated, but Qin Yi felt that it was still possible to practice this skill to perfection. Take it away, remember not to use it before level 5. Qin Ming reminded again. Thank you Dad, Dad is the most handsome. Qin Yi happily put the control fruit on the table into the spirit summoning space. Although the spirit calling space is the space where contracted beasts live, some small things can still be placed in this space. After collecting the skill fruits, Qin Yi quickly finished his breakfast, left the room with his black satchel, and rushed towards the school. Grade 3-4, class. First lesson in the morning. The head teacher Yi Qiu walked into the classroom. She looked at the students who were quiet for a moment and showed excitement, and said softly, I know you are very excited, but don't worry, you will be even more excited when I finish speaking, more excited. Yi Qiu looked at them and continued with a smile, starting from today, in order to give you enough time to train your spirit beasts, we will only have half-day classes every day until before your college entrance examination. After Yi Qiu finished speaking, the students who had calmed down suddenly started shouting excitedly. Long live the teacher! Long live the school! Sister Yi, you are so beautiful today. Sister Yi is incomparably beautiful. Listening to their words, Yi Qiu raised his right hand with a smile and pressed it down. The students gradually became quiet under Yi Qiu's actions. Glib tongue. Yi Qiu raised the corner of his mouth and continued, From now on, you will only have one spirit beast knowledge class every day. After this class, the rest of the time will be spirit beast training classes. The school will arrange teachers to guide you in training. Spirit beasts, cultivate spirit beasts, so that you can avoid going astray, so that you can improve your own strength more quickly, and enhance the strength of spirit beasts. Teacher Yi talked incessantly, and in summary, in the coming time, those boring math classes, geography classes, history classes, will all be replaced by courses related to spiritual beasts. The students were naturally overjoyed by this change, and Qin Yi was no exception. Of course, they all knew about this change. After all, it happened every year in the senior year of high school, but at the moment when they heard it with their own ears, they couldn't restrain their inner joy and couldn't help but cheer. In the morning, after Yi Qiu finished his first lesson, he took his classmates to the playground. Yi Qiu led the students to a burly middle-aged man and introduced to the students, Wang Yan, Teacher Wang, your former physical education teacher is now the spirit beast instructor who helps you train. Classmates, long time no see, do you miss me? Wang Yan showed his big white teeth to his classmates. Think. Qin Yi and the others shouted together in a dignified manner. You guys study hard, I'll leave first. After Yi Qiu handed Qin Yi and the others to Wang Yan, he turned around and left. Wang Yan glanced around and asked the students to sit down. Immediately afterwards, he began to explain things about spiritual beast training and spiritual beast cultivation. This lecture lasted all morning. Do you understand? Wang Yan shouted, if you don't understand, you can come and ask me. If you understand, you can go home. We will continue tomorrow. When the students in class 4 heard that school was over, they were collectively in a trance and felt a little unreal. Time flies so fast. But soon, they all stood up excitedly. Those who didn't understand walked towards Wang Yan, while those who understood directly turned and left. Qin Yi stood up, patted the weeds on his pants, and asked Du Fang beside him, what are you going to do? Eat, I'm so hungry. Du Fang touched his shriveled belly. Qin Yi nodded, I'll go with you. After dinner, what are you going to do? Du Fang asked. Go to Sunshine Novice Paradise. Qin Yi said. What? Du Fang looked at Qin Yi in shock. You go to Sunshine Novice Paradise now, you are not afraid of death. Qin Yi looked at Du Fang speechlessly, no one can die there. Oh, I forgot. Du Fang said with a smile, I will practice again, but I don't dare to go now. Although no one can die there, it costs money. If you fall into danger there and are rescued by the staff there, you can no longer play. The money you spent once is in vain. If I only had Juga, I wouldn't dare to go, but I have the Pirate King, and with the Pirate King here, there should be no danger. Envious. Chapter 11 Sunshine Novice Paradise. Sunshine Novice Paradise is like a dreamlike wonderland, vast and boundless. Among them, the mountains are undulating, like a winding dragon, the lakes are rippling, like pearls inlaid on the earth, the grassland is full of flowers, like a gorgeous carpet, the woods are lush, just like a green ocean. In addition to a variety of different environments, Sunshine Novice Paradise is also home to nearly 100 species of wild spiritual beasts ranging from level 1 to level 10. With the combination of numerous environments and spiritual beasts, an exclusive holy land for spiritual practice was built specifically to serve novice spiritual summoners. Qin Yi took a taxi and arrived at the entrance of Sunshine Novice Paradise. He looked at the huge pure white building in front of him and couldn't help but exclaimed, it's so big. Entering the Sunshine Novice Paradise, he stared at the bright hall. After some searching, he finally found the ticket gate on the left. Hello, what kind of tickets do you need to buy? The conductor asked enthusiastically. We have time passes, daily passes, monthly passes, and annual passes. An hourly ticket costs 500, a daily ticket costs 3,000, a monthly ticket costs 120,000, and an annual ticket costs 1.2 million. The above prices are for the low-level area, double the price for the mid-level area, and multiply the price by 5 for the high-level area. The level of spirit beasts in the low-level area is from level 1 to level 5, the level of spirit beasts in the intermediate area is from level 5 to level 8, and the level of spirit beasts in the high-level area is from level 8 to level 10. Qin Yi listened to the conductor's introduction, thought for a moment, and responded, I want a 2-hour ticket for the low-level area. It was his first time coming to the Sunshine Novice Paradise, and he didn't plan to train for long today. Okay, please show me your ID card. Qin Yi silently handed his ID card to the conductor. After the conductor scanned his ID card, he asked Qin Yi, "Are you a spirit summoner? Or a spirit beast master?" Qin Yi, "Spirit summoner." The conductor pointed to the rectangular device aside. "Please put your palm here, we need to sense whether you have contracted a spirit beast." Qin Yi glanced at the device and asked, "Can I leave it alone?" "Okay." The conductor nodded. "Then I need to release the contracted beast and show it to me." "Okay." Qin Yi summoned Zhuge directly without saying anything. The conductor looked at the little turtle that appeared at Qin Yi's feet and said to Qin Yi, "No problem, a total of 1,000 spirit coins. Would you like to scan the QR code or pay in cash?" "Scan the code." Qin Yi took out his phone and asked the conductor to scan it. "Here." The conductor handed Qin Yi his ID card, tickets and a book. After Qin Yi took the ID card, tickets and books, he put Zhuge away and left. The book is the Rules of the Sunshine Novice Paradise. Its content is that you can kill any spiritual beast in the Sunshine Novice Paradise. As long as you can kill it as you wish, and the bodies of the spiritual beasts can be taken out at will. Of course, the prerequisite for killing is that spiritual beasts higher than the highest level in the current area are not allowed to be released for killing. If you summon a spirit beast that is higher than the highest level in the current area to kill, if it is discovered, you will be warned once. If you are warned 3 times, you will be permanently barred from entering the Sunshine Novice Paradise. What this means is that Qin Yi can summon the Pirate King to protect him in the low-level area, but he cannot let the Pirate King kill the spiritual beasts in the low-level area. Apart from this, as long as you have the ability, you can kill and take whatever you want. After Qin Yi roughly read the contents of the book, he came to the entrance. Check in and enter the low-level area of Sunshine Novice Park. The entrances to the low-level area, the intermediate area, and the high-level area are not together. After checking the tickets, the ticket inspector gave Qin Yi a rectangular game console, but it did not have a game function, but a picture book machine with a picture book function. The way to use the illustrated machine is very simple. Just turn on the camera function inside and take a photo of the spiritual beast not far away. After taking the photo, the detailed information of the spirit animal will be displayed on the screen of the illustrated machine. The content seen in the illustrated machine will be much more detailed than the information seen by oneself using the spirit summoning pupil. In addition to viewing information about spirit animals, the illustrated machine also has a countdown function, a one-click call for help function, a map function, and a countdown function that displays how much time is left until you leave. Qin Yi glanced at the illustrated machine that was starting to count down, and then put the illustrated machine in the back pocket of his pants. Immediately afterwards, he took out the necklace around his neck and saw a small blue ball hanging on the necklace. This small blue ball is the water attribute soul-calling ball where the Pirate King lives. He took off the blue ball from the necklace, pressed the small dot on the blue ball, and threw it forward. The next moment, the Pirate King appeared in front of him. Gah! Pirate Dynasty. Qin Yi looked at him, the excitement on his face was extremely obvious. Qin Yi picked up the big blue ball and said with a smile, "Let's go." Gah! The Pirate King followed with a long sword in hand. One person and one duck didn't walk long before they saw 2 green caterpillars on a branch not far away. Race, green cotton worm. Level 2. Attribute, insect. Potential, low-level extraordinary. Skill, silk spinning. Introduction, a sleeping bug. One is level 2 and the other is level 1. Both can only spin silk. They are good. They are very suitable for training Zhuge. Qin Yi looked at both green cotton worms. Before going to bed last night, he tested the soul-calling pupil many times, and finally successfully mastered the soul-calling pupil. Now the soul-calling pupil is under his control, level, potential, skill, 0/100, you can choose whether to watch it or not. If he looks at it, it will cost him more to release the soul-calling pupil. If he doesn't look at it, it will cost him less. After seeing the information about the 2 green cotton worms, he decisively summoned Zhuge. Immediately afterwards, he said to Zhuge, "Release the earth shield and see how many times they hit." Zhuge looked at the 2 green cotton worms on the branches, and the surrounding earth elements began to condense towards him. Soon, an earthy yellow light shield enveloped him. Qin Yi saw Zhuge release the earth shield and said to the Pirate King, who was eager to try, "Pirate King, throw stones at the green cotton worm." Huh? The Pirate King was stunned for a moment. He looked at Qin Yi doubtfully, suspecting that he heard wrongly. "I'll demonstrate again." Qin Yi picked up the stone on the ground and threw it directly towards the green cotton worm on the branch with a whoosh sound. Snap! The stone successfully hit the branch. It was obvious at a glance that he had missed. The corner of Qin Yi's mouth twitched slightly, and he looked at the Pirate King seriously and said, "Did you see that? Let's start when I see you." Gah! No! The Pirate King shook his head. He was not willing to do such a bad thing. Qin Yi saw this and said with a serious expression, "Pirate King, don't underestimate such trivial matters as throwing stones, this is training your accuracy." Gah! The Pirate King frowned slightly. Qin Yi opened his mouth and said, "What if you encounter the kind of battle in the future where you are exhausted and neither side can get up? After you rest for a while, you have a little strength to throw the knife, and you throw it and successfully hit the target. You won't win. If you throw it and fail to hit the target, then you are in a passive state." Gah, it seems to make sense. The Pirate King touched his chin and suddenly raised his head to look at Qin Yi. Gah. "I'll throw it." "Okay. Come on." Qin Yi nodded vigorously. The Pirate King picked up the small stones on the ground and threw them towards the green cotton worms on the branches with a whoosh sound. Snap! Missed! Quack! The Pirate King looked at this scene, frowned slightly, picked up the stone again and threw it away. Pa! 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 Missed! Missed! Still missed! Quack! The Pirate King's eyes widened in shock, his expression becoming more solemn. After throwing 6 rounds and missing all 6 shots, he became more and more aware of the seriousness of the matter. Qin Yi felt a little stupid when he saw this scene, but soon he patted the Pirate King on the duck's head and said seriously, "See, this is the result of you never practicing." Gah! I'm practicing. The Pirate King shouted with all his strength, picked up the small stones on the ground and threw them at the green cotton worms on the branches. Whoosh! Whoosh! Whoosh whoosh! Chapter 12 Special Training Methods. The big tree where the green cotton worms slept trembled from time to time under the attack of One Piece's stones. Before the Pirate King could hit the green cotton worm, one of the green cotton worms opened its eyes in a daze as the tree trembled. It looked left and right, and soon saw the rocks coming from not far away. The rocks became larger and larger under its gaze. Crack! The rock hit it hard in the face. Gah! Hit! The Pirate King's scream sounded not far away. After missing dozens of times, he finally hit it. Quack! I'm hit! The Pirate King looked towards Qin Yi excitedly. Good job! Qin Yi stroked the Pirate King's duck head, looked at his expression of enjoyment, and continued, "Keep practicing until they attack us." Gah! The Pirate King picked up the small stones again and threw them towards the 2 green cotton worms on the branches not far away with a serious look. The 2 green cotton bugs were attacked by the rocks, and soon they all looked at Qin Yi and the others angrily. The next moment, 2 green cotton worms opened their small mouths at the same time, and a white thread shot out of their mouths like lightning, shooting straight towards Qin Yi and the others. Qin Yi, who had been standing behind Zhuge, looked at this scene and was overjoyed. I saw him squat down quickly, and the Pirate King was on the left and right, holding Zhuge and lifting him up. Bang bang! As expected, the green cottonworm's silk hit Zhuge's earth shield. The earth shield didn't move at all, and Qin Yi and the Pirate King who were holding Zhuge didn't move either. No, their attacks are too weak. Qin Yi frowned slightly, feeling that green cotton worms were not suitable for training Zhuge. So, he decisively ran away with Zhuge and the Pirate King, leaving behind 2 confused green cotton worms. On the way, Qin Yi looked at Zhuge, who was moving slowly beside him, stroked his chin and muttered, "I didn't notice it before, but now I realize that you have no attack skills. It's not easy to deal with not having attack skills. I need to help you find an attack skill." Zhuge called out perfunctorily, he was a little sleepy. "We won't wait until level 5 for attack skills. We should first train our ability to withstand beatings." Qin Yi took out the illustration machine placed in the back pocket of his pants and turned on the map function in the illustration machine. "Let me see if there are any more aggressive ones nearby. Spiritual beast. That's it." Qin Yi's eyes lit up, he put away the illustrated machine and walked toward the destination with the Pirate King and Zhuge. A quarter of an hour later, Qin Yi, who was squatting in the grass, pointed at 4 grass wolves not far away that were eating the carcasses of young grass deer, and said to Zhuge, "Release the rock armor and crawl over." After waiting for a few seconds, Qin Yi saw that Zhuge was motionless. He looked down and saw Zhuge, who was stiff with a hint of fear, and suddenly realized. Then, he smiled and encouraged, "Zhuge, don't be afraid, we are behind to protect you." "Gah!" The Pirate King also shouted in a low voice. Zhuge looked at Qin Yi, then at the Pirate King, and finally mustered up the courage to release the rock armor. Not long after, Zhuge, who transformed into an armored warrior, looked at the ferocious 4 grass wolves not far away. After taking a deep breath, he walked forward with firm eyes. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. The grass wolf, who was enjoying a delicious meal, heard the sound coming from not far away and turned his head to look at it. They looked at Zhuge walking out and were collectively stunned for a moment. They were confused about the little turtle's operation, but they were smart and didn't act rashly. It wasn't until Zhuge took a few steps again and growled at them with a mocking expression that they all ran towards Zhuge in a violent manner. "What the hell? You dare to mock us? Kill me." The 4 grass wolves were fierce, one opened its big mouth and bit Zhuge's glands, while the other 3 raised their sharp claws and swatted at Zhuge's surroundings. Seeing this, Zhuge quickly retracted his head and limbs into the turtle shell with lightning speed, leaving only a turtle shell wrapped in rock armor. Bang! 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 The moment Zhuge retreated, 3 bush wolves' attacks hit Zhuge's turtle shell as promised. As for the grass wolf that opened its mouth to bite, it jumped out and took a bite of the air filled with the fragrance of weeds. Not far away, Qin Yi watched this scene and silently summoned his soul pupil towards Zhuge. He looked at the slightly increased number in brackets behind the rock armor on the Zhuge information interface, and sent a message to Zhuge, "Use your power to try to repair the rock armor." Telepathy is the basic operation of the spiritual summoner, not a skill. When the spiritual summoner becomes stronger, he can also transmit sounds to other people. Currently, he only has the strength of a trainee and can only use it with contracted beasts that are connected to him. Zhuge listened to the sudden voice in his mind, and did not panic. Instead, he quickly calmed down his inner fear and began to try to repair the rock armor. Qin Yi tried telepathy with him last night, so the first time he heard the voice, he knew that Qin Yi was paying attention to him. After being frantically attacked by 4 grass wolves, the somewhat damaged rock armor began to glow with a yellowish light under Zhuge's control. The rock armor has begun to be repaired. Zhuge felt the changes in Yan Jia, and gradually became more confident in his heart. He was so confident that he couldn't help but roar. His defense became clearer under the attack of 4 grass wolves. He didn't dare before because he didn't know that he could repair the rock armor. He was afraid that after the rock armor was broken, he would be beaten viciously by the 4 grass wolves. Now that he knew that he could repair rock armor, his self-confidence naturally became stronger. The 4 grass wolves listened to Zhuge's low roar, as if they heard Zhuge's disdain for them. Their faces darkened, and the attacks on their hands became more fierce. Not far away, Qin Yi looked at the jumping numbers in brackets behind the rock armor and couldn't help but lick his lips. He seemed to have discovered a plugin that was unique to him. Very good, let them fight like this. They are good people and they are helping you improve your strength. Qin Yi was afraid that the 4 grass wolves were about to leave, so he reminded them again, you can taunt them appropriately to make them fight faster. Point. Qin Yi was stunned for a moment when he heard Zhuge's voice in his mind. Immediately afterwards, he quickly regained his composure and said happily, "Zhuge, you can do it. You know how to transmit messages so quickly." Okay, no more words, you continue to taunt until they are tired and they run away. Come on. In this way, the 4 grass wolves attacked with increasing frequency under Zhuge's constant taunts. But it didn't take long for the 4 grass wolves to get tired. They stopped attacking and looked at the motionless turtle shell, and fell silent. They looked at each other, then turned around and ran away without any hesitation. Just leaving like that? Qin Yi opened his mouth and was a little dumbfounded. Qin Yi glanced at the panel, skill, rock armor, entry, 39 out of 100, okay, take a rest, we will find the next batch of sparring partners later. Wake up, don't sleep. Qin Yi shook the pirate king who was about to fall asleep next to him. Gah. It's over? The pirate king looked up confusedly at the scene where only Zhuge was left in front of him. It's over. Qin Yi nodded, stood up and walked towards Zhuge. Gah. It's finally over. The pirate king quickly followed. Chapter 13 Preliminary Test, Skill Proficiency. It's been upgraded. Level 2 so soon? Qin Yi kneaded his palms, feeling the extra strength in his body, and looked up at Zhuge who was lying on the ground not far away. At this time, the 3 green monkeys who were attacking Zhuge also stopped and collectively took a few steps back. They obviously also felt the new power bursting out of Zhuge's body. Yeah. Zhuge growled. After reaching level 2, he felt that his overall strength had improved a little, and he also felt that his fatigue had recovered a little under the fluctuation of this mysterious power. He stretched out his glands and looked at the 3 green monkeys with disdain. The 3 green monkeys looked at this scene and were collectively stunned for a moment. Then, they angrily attacked Zhuge again and killed him. Seeing this, Zhuge swished and retracted into the turtle shell again. In just 1 hour, he had learned how to taunt the enemy. As expected of eating turtles related to Bagua, with this IQ, you can learn things quickly. Qin Yi sighed slightly and continued to look at the panel in front of him. Skill, rock armor, entry, 87 out of 100. Come on, I'm about to become proficient. Skill proficiency is divided into entry, proficiency, perfection and superb. At the entry level, the spirit beast can exert 50% of the power of the skill. At the proficiency level, the spirit beast can exert 80% of the power of the skill. At the proficiency level, the spirit beast can exert 100% of the power of the skill. At the perfect level, the spirit beast can exert 100% of the power of the skill. It can exert 120% of the power of this skill. At the superb level, the spirit beast can exert 150% of the power of this skill. The above is the official test data. The overall values are close to 10. There will be deviations, but not too much. Half an hour later, Qin Yi watched the value of the rock armor on the panel return to 0, and his eyes flashed brightly as he became proficient. He didn't pay attention to Zhuge's level value before, so he missed watching the changes in Zhuge's level value, so he didn't confirm it. Now that he had fully read the changes in the value of the rock armor, he finally confirmed that this value was indeed his hang. And he clearly felt that Zhuge's improvement was faster than he thought. Is this Zhuge's problem or his problem? He still needs to make a contract with the Pirate Queen to find out. He had silently recorded the increase in the number behind the water sword after One Piece used the water sword. What he has to do now is to wait for him to contract with the Pirate King and see how much the number behind the water sword will increase after the Pirate King releases the water sword. Zhuge, stop playing. Release the thorns and turtle shells to drive them away. Qin Yi sent a message to Zhuge. After Zhuge heard the sound, he roared lowly. The moment the 5 little black dogs were about to touch the scales on the turtle shell, the long black hair stood up instantly like an electric shock and turned into straight and powerful spikes. The next moment, 5 attacks struck one after another, and the little black dog's paw and thorns successfully touched each other. Ouch! In an instant, screams one after another intertwined into a sad movement all around. The 5 little black dogs clutched their bleeding palms like a reflex and rolled in pain on the ground. Its appearance is as miserable as it can be. Zhuge looked at this scene, calmly stretched out his head and 4 palms, and climbed towards Qin Ye's direction unhurriedly. When passing by a rolling little black dog, he did not forget to stab the little black dog with the spikes on his back. Unfortunately, he was a little slow and was discovered by the keen little black dog. The little black dog rolled like a donkey and rolled directly out of Zhuge's attack range. Yeah. Zhuge glared fiercely at the little black dog, and then continued to crawl towards Qin Yi leisurely. Something. Qin Yi nodded slightly, very satisfied with Zhuge's operation. Not timid, but very brave, this character is not bad. When Zhuge walked towards Qin Yi, the 5 little black dogs also saw Qin Yi walking out from behind the tree. Just when they were eager to take revenge, the Pirate King walked out from the side. They looked at the Pirate King holding a long sword, woke up instantly, turned around and ran away. The dog is still smart. Qin Yi smiled, turned around and praised Zhuge a few words, then led Zhuge and the Pirate King back the way they came. Back at the door, Qin Yi looked at the remaining 10 minutes in the illustrated machine and handed the illustrated machine to the staff of Sunshine Novice Paradise. Welcome next time. After getting off the car, Qin Yi walked into his store. He looked at the girl who was choosing products not far away, walked up and asked, "Why are you here?" "Of course I'm here to buy something." Yi Sisi rolled her eyes, and then asked curiously, "What did you contract?" "Little Rock Turtle." After Qin Yi finished speaking, he asked, "What about you?" "What? What did you contract?" Yi Sisi looked at Qin Yi in shock, suspecting that she might have heard wrongly. Qin Yi calmly responded again, "Little Rock Turtle." Yi Sisi was silent for a long time and asked, "Where is your Pirate King?" "Here." Qin Yi took out the water attribute soul-calling ball he wore around his neck. "I'm going to contract him again at the junior level." "Why don't you sign a contract now?" Yi Sisi's eyebrows furrowed into a small mountain shape, her expression very puzzled. "Because of talent." Qin Yi changed the subject and said, "What did you contract with?" "That night sea eagle?" "Of course." Yi Sisi snorted, "I'm not like you. I'm very loyal to my little nighthawk." "Well, remember to buy more." Qin Yi nodded, waved his hand, "Let's go." "Where are you going?" Yi Sisi looked at Qin Ye's back and shouted. "Get some spiritual food for my little turtles and ducks." "Aren't you here to buy this too?" Qin Yi gave Yi Sisi an idiot look and walked towards the area for the earth attribute spiritual food. "Damn it! Just wait for me." Yi Sisi gritted her teeth. She remembered that look just now. Beside the cashier, Yi Sisi looked at Qin Yi approaching and shouted, "Qin Yi, I want to duel with you." "Okay." Qin Yi nodded without hesitation, "But my turtle doesn't have attack skills." "Huh?" Yi Sisi frowned again, "Why did you contract a spiritual beast that doesn't have attack skills?" "My turtle has strong defense." Qin Yi said with a smile, "How about if your little sea eagle breaks the defense of my little turtle, you will win." "Okay." Yi Sisi nodded in agreement. "Follow me, let's go to the back." Qin Yi put the spiritual food he selected on the counter and said to the young lady sitting under the counter, "Sister Tang, please take care of it for me." "No problem." Tang Qing made an "okay" gesture. "Let's go." Qin Yi thought to Yi Si. "Just leave." Yi Sisi quickly followed. Tang Qing cheered Yi Sisi up and said, "Come on Sisi. Sister Xiao Tang, wait for my good news." Yi Sisi smiled at Tang Qing, then turned around and continued to follow. Chapter 14 The First Fight with Yi Sisi. Backyard. Baya, who was training Kinjianyu, heard the noise coming from outside the door and turned her head to look. She looked at her son who opened the door and walked in and the girl behind him. Her confused look instantly revealed an amiable smile, "Sisi Lai." "Good afternoon, Aunt." Yi Sisi said quickly. On the side, Qin Yi looked at his mother and said, "Mom, I want to fight Yi Sisi. Do you need a referee?" Baya asked casually. No need. Qin Yi shook his head, pointed to the open space not far ahead, and said to Chao Yi Sisi, let's go there. Okay. Yi Sisi nodded. Baya looked at the two people walking towards the open space in front of them, curiously put down what she was doing, and watched with interest. She was actually quite curious about the little turtle's strength. Arriving at the clearing, Qin Yi summoned Zhuge directly. Yi Sisi looked at Zhuge, who appeared at Qin Yi's feet, and murmured softly, it looks no different from other little rock turtles. There is indeed no difference in appearance. Qin Yi glanced at Zhuge and said to Chao Ye, summon your little nighthawk, and we will fight quickly. Humph, don't underestimate my little nighthawk. Yi Sisi waved her little hand. In an instant, a summoning circle erected in the sky, and a small eagle with black feathers mixed with blue feathers roared out from the summoning circle. Chirp! The little nighthawk was like a vigorous hunter. After circling in the air, it landed steadily on Yi Sisi's shoulder. Race, Night Sea Eagle. Level 7. Attribute, Dark, Water. Potential, Mid-level Elite. Talent, King of the Night. Skills, Eagle Charge, Dark Water Ball, Eagle Peck. Introduction, the King of Eagles, the Night Sea Eagle, can enter the water. Level 7. Qin Yi was surprised. If he remembered correctly, it seemed that he was only at level 3 when we met some time ago. Level 7 is not normal. Isn't your little duck also level 8? Yi Sisi continued, I'm not like you. My talent is not a growth talent. When Qin Yi told the reason for his talent, she guessed the type of Qin Yi's talent. Yes. Qin Yi nodded slightly, hit gently. Yi Sisi was silent for a moment. She rolled her eyes and said speechlessly, you change your attitude so quickly. My turtle is only level 2, how can a level 2 beat a level 7, and your eagle still has medium potential? After Qin Yi finished speaking, he lowered his head and looked at Zhuge and said, Zhuge, release the earth shield and rock armor. Zhuge growled, and the surrounding earth elements rushed toward him instantly. Not long after, the Cayman rider Zhuge, wrapped in a shield of earth, appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Qin Yi looked at Yi Sisi and said, come on, let me see if my turtle can withstand your eagle's attack. Little Nighthawk, come on. Release the dark water ball. Yi Sisi gave the order. Little Nighthawk soared into the sky, and a dark blue ball of light instantly condensed in front of her mouth. The next moment, she shot the dark water ball towards Zhuge, who was lying on the ground. Zhuge looked up at this scene and immediately retracted into the turtle shell. Bang! The dark water ball hit the earth shield like a heavy hammer. The tight earth shield struggled to support itself for a few times, and finally broke with a pop like glass. What a pity. Qin Yi shook his head, it's just a little bit worse. Is it so thick? Yi Sisi said in shock, there's something about your turtle. Normally, my little nighthawk attacks level 2 and level 3 spiritual beasts one at a time, but your turtle can actually block it. It's okay. Qin Yi smiled and said, go on. Well. Yi Sisi suddenly became curious, let me see the limits of your turtle. Little Nighthawk, release the eagle horn and charge, then receive the hawk's peck. Chirp. Little Nighthawk suddenly lowered his head and turned into a dazzling beam of light, galloping towards Zhuge on the ground. Release the earth shield. Qin Yi shouted quickly. Yeah. The surrounding earth elements quickly rushed towards Zhuge. At the moment when Little Nighthawk was about to collide with Zhuge, the earth shield successfully wrapped Zhuge tightly. Bang! A deafening roar sounded, and the ground seemed to tremble slightly. Yeah. Zhuge's low roar came next. The next moment, the roar sounded again, which was the second consecutive attack of the Little Nighthawk, the hawk pecking. Chirp! Little Nighthawk flapped her wings and flew into the air, with a bit of displeasure on her face and a bit of pain in her mouth. Looking down, she saw that the scales on Zhuge's body had turned into spikes and stood up. Several of them were slightly bent downwards under the attack she just made. Thorn skills. Yi Sisi was stunned, this turtle has a lot of skills. Qin Yi looked at Zhuge immediately, Zhuge, are you okay? Zhuge stretched out his glands, turned to look at Qin Yi and roared. It's okay, it just hurts. It's okay, you did a good job just now. After Qin Yi praised Zhuge's operation, he looked up at Yi Sisi and asked, are you still fighting? Yi Sisi came back to her senses and asked, are you still fighting? I don't care. No matter how many skills this turtle has, it is currently no match for little Nighthawk. Then we won't fight. He just wanted to know how strong Zhuge's current defense could withstand the attack. Now with Yi Sisi's help, he probably knew. Then we won't fight. Yi Sisi called little Nighthawk back and gently stroked little Nighthawk's forehead. Thank you. Qin Yi said. Humph. Yi Sisi snorted softly, we will fight again later. No problem. Qin Yi nodded with a smile. After Yi Sisi took little Nighthawk into the spirit summoning space, she said to Qin Yi, I'm leaving. Just when Qin Yi was about to respond, Baya, who was standing aside watching the show, said, Sisi, Auntie is going to cook now and leave after dinner. While Baya spoke, she looked at her son. Qin Yi looked at this scene, took a deep breath, scratched his head in embarrassment and thought to Yi Si, how about, have a meal before leaving? Yi Sisi looked at Qin Yi's movements, raised the corners of her mouth, turned around and shook her head towards Baya and said, Auntie, I still have some things to do, so I won't bother Auntie today. Okay, I won't keep you if I have something to do. Baya nodded with a smile, a hint of kindness in her eyes, then you must stay for dinner next time. Okay, Auntie. Yi Sisi smiled sweetly and waved to Qin Yi, bye, I'm leaving. Yeah. Qin Yi nodded and remained silent. Baya looked at her son who was standing there motionless and said, why don't you go and see him off? Qin Yi twitched the corner of his mouth slightly and walked to Yi Sisi's side, let's go. Hee hee. Yi Sisi smiled and walked towards the door. What a talented man and beautiful woman. Baya looked at the two people drifting away and couldn't help but smile. Afterwards, she continued to concentrate on training the Aoba cow in front of her. As for cooking, it's not even 5 o'clock yet. How can anyone cook at 5 o'clock? Outside the store. Let's go. Yi Sisi looked at Qin Yi with the spiritual food she had purchased earlier in her hand. Qin Yi hesitated to speak, but finally said, what happened just now? Before he could finish speaking, Yi Sisi interrupted, stop talking, I understand. Qin Yi fell silent. Let's go. Yi Sisi smiled sweetly and stepped forward. This time, she really left. Slow down. Qin Yi shouted. Bye. Yi Sisi waved her hand. Chapter 15 Zhuge is growing vigorously. 3 days later. Sunshine Beginner's Paradise. Sand. Qin Yi felt the sudden new power in his body and shouted excitedly, finally level 5. After 3 days of training by Qin Yi, Zhuge finally succeeded in reaching level 5 despite being attacked by 3 sand bears. After Qin Yi got excited, he released his soul-calling pupils towards Zhuge without hesitation. Race, Little Rock Turtle. Level 5, 1 out of 100. Attribute, Earth. Potential, Medium Extraordinary, 79/100. Talent, Thorns Tortoise Shell, Kuang Gua. Skills, Earth Shield, Proficiency, 27 out of 100, Rock Armor, Proficiency, 88 out of 100. Introduction, the little rock turtle that eats the mysterious slate is thriving. After these 3 days of training, in addition to being upgraded to level 5, the little rock turtle's potential will soon be upgraded to high-level extraordinary under the influence of the mysterious stone slab. The proficiency of the earth shield has reached proficiency, and the proficiency of the rock armor is far away from proficiency. Just a little bit. 3 days is not long, but for Zhuge, it is a qualitative leap. Work harder. I should be able to upgrade my rock armor to mastery today. Qin Yi pondered for a moment, forget it, let's learn control first. If you practice control to mastery today, it will be easy to upgrade tomorrow. Yeah. That's it. After Qin Yi made his decision, he did not let Zhuge release the thorn tortoise shell to drive away the 3 sand bears. Instead, he waited for the 3 sand bears to lose patience before letting Zhuge release the thorn tortoise shell to drive them away. Qin Yi brought the Pirate King to Zhuge, took out the power control fruit from the spirit summoning space, and said to Zhuge, "Eat the fruit and rest for a while. We will continue later." "Yeah." Zhuge nodded excitedly. He had just upgraded and was very happy. Qin Yi placed the control fruit in front of Zhuge. Zhuge looked at the fruit in front of him, stretched his head forward, and bit down most of it in one bite. 1 bite, 2 bites, 3 bites. Zhuge only used 3 mouthfuls to quickly eliminate the control effect. "Do you feel anything?" Qin Yi asked. No," Zhuge shook his head, but as soon as he shook his head, a warm current appeared in his body out of thin air. He suddenly raised his head and looked at Qin Yi with burning eyes. "Yes. Yes. That's fine." Qin Yi nodded. He looked at Zhuge, who closed his eyes and began to settle, with the Pirate King silently guarding him. Not long after, Zhuge opened his eyes and roared. When Qin Yi heard the news, he went to Zhuge and summoned his soul pupils. Race, Little Rock Turtle. Level 5, 52 out of 100. Attribute, Earth. Potential, Medium Extraordinary, 92/100. Talent, Thorns Tortoise Shell, Kuangua. Skills, Earth Shield, Proficiency, 27 out of 100, Rock Armor, Proficiency, 88 out of 100, Control, Basic, 0 out of 100. Introduction, the little rock turtle that eats the mysterious slate is thriving. Control, use your own energy to control your own weight. It's okay. Qin Yi said it was okay, with a bright smile on his face. Zhuge, try to control it and see if you can go faster. Yeah. Zhuge's eyes gradually became serious, and the power of control began to spread within his body. After a while, Zhuge took steps forward, 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. After walking dozens of steps, Zhuge turned to look at Qin Yi with joy. I'm walking so fast. Not bad. Qin Yi looked at Zhuge, whose speed had improved significantly, and encouraged him, "Come on, try to improve your control to proficient today. After you become proficient, you will walk faster." Yeah. Zhuge nodded vigorously and continued to walk forward vigorously. 9 p.m. Sunshine Beginner's Paradise. Intermediate Area. In the last 2 hours, Qin Yi paid a huge price to raise Zhuge's level to level 6, and his potential to high extraordinary. The Rock Armor skill successfully escaped from the attacks of many level 5 to level 8 spirit beasts, and his proficiency was raised to mastery and proficiency. The proficiency of the Control skill has also successfully entered proficiency, 11 out of 100. As for the Earth Shield, due to its limited energy, he did not ask Zhuge to release the Earth Shield during the subsequent training, so the proficiency of the Earth Shield did not change. F***K off, I'll never come back again. This intermediate area is too expensive. Qin Yi decisively left the intermediate area with Zhuge and the Pirate King. In the last 2 hours of the intermediate area, he spent a full 2,000 yuan. In these few days of training, he has spent tens of thousands of dollars. Therefore, he is planning not to come starting tomorrow. It's not that he has no money, but that Zhuge's level has been raised to level 6. After level 5, the cost-effectiveness of training in Sunshine Novice Paradise is too low. I used to train in the Sunshine Novice Paradise because there are very few spiritual beasts before level 5 in the wild areas inside and outside Yehai City, especially those from level 1 to level 3, so I wanted to train newborns in a safe manner. In Qin Yi's opinion, going to those novice paradises is the best choice. After level 5, the situation changes. After level 5, you can go to nearby wild areas for training. Although there are also high-level wild spirit beasts in nearby wild areas, Yehai City officials will sweep them from time to time, so there are no chance of encountering level 10 or above spirit beasts in nearby wild areas. The probability is still very low. Most of the nearby wild areas are filled with level 5 to 10 spirit beasts. Of course, if you have money, it is recommended to train in the intermediate area of Sunshine Novice Park. There are far more types of spirit beasts in the intermediate area of Sunshine Novice Paradise than in the wild areas around Yehai City. If you want your spirit beast to experience more skills of different types of spirit beasts, then the intermediate area of Sunshine Novice Paradise must be recommended first. Zone. If you don't want to, then there is no need to waste money on going to the intermediate zone of Sunshine Novice Park. After all, tickets for the intermediate and advanced areas of Sunshine Novice Park are not cheap. Backyard. I thought of an aggressive operation before going to bed yesterday. See if you can try it. Chinyi looked at Zhuge, who was lying not far away. Zhuge tilted his head slightly and said softly. Probably you retract your head and forelegs into the turtle shell, then spin your body and attack the target like a hot wheel. Chinyi came to Zhuge and took out his mobile phone, opened the video saved in the mobile phone, and stretched it out in front of Zhuge. Look at it, it's probably like this. Zhuge looked at the video playing on his mobile phone, his eyes gradually becoming confused. Is this really something I can do? In the video, a red hedgehog curled up into a ball, like the rolling wheels of a car after starting, and was rushing towards the enemy at an alarming speed. During the collision, the hedgehog was surrounded by flames, just like a red fireball burning, which was frightening. The spirit beast in the video is one of the evolutions of the fire thorn, the flame hedgehog. The skill it uses is the fire wheel. Chinyi looked at Zhuge and said, "Try it?" Zhuge was silent for a moment, he didn't know how to respond. Quack. Luoya looked at the silent Zhuge, jumped in front of Zhuge, and started dancing, quack, 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 quack. Well. Zhuge shook his head wildly, like a rattle. Gah! Luoya angrily held the long knife in his hand and struck the grass next to him. Bang! Zhuge looked at the flying soil and grass and couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. He carefully looked up at the angry Luoya. Try? Gah! Luoya nodded with satisfaction and looked at Chinyi with his head held high. Gah! Awesome, Pirate King! Chinyi, who was watching dumbfounded, silently gave Luoya a thumbs up. When Chinyi was thinking about how Zhuge would attack his target last night, he also thought of a real name for the Pirate King. If, by any chance, One Piece really becomes the Pirate King in the future, people can't call him Pirate King, so he thought of a name. If he really becomes the Pirate King in the future, then people can call him Pirate King Luoya. When Chinyi told the name to the Pirate King when he got up in the morning, he was very happy. Of course, when Chinyi takes things back and forth, his name is Luoya or the Pirate King. He's used to it and can't change it, and he doesn't want to change it. Chapter 16 The Spin of Thorns. After the proficiency of control increases to proficiency, Zhuge can control his own weight more easily. At this time, under Chinyi's command, he was huddled in the turtle shell and swinging his body vigorously, making himself spin in circles. Chinyi looked at Zhuge's difficult turning, touched his chin, and after pondering for a moment, he looked up at Luoya, who was standing by and brandishing a knife, and then at Zhuge. Then, he said, "Stop! Stop! Pirate King, come here." Chinyi looked at Luoya. Luoya ran over and said, "Gah! What are you doing? Wait a minute." Chinyi turned to look at Zhuge. "You haven't turned it before, so you don't know how to turn it, right?" "Yeah." Zhuge lowered his head, with a somewhat aggrieved face. "That's it." Chinyi raised the corners of his mouth and continued with a smile, "Since you haven't turned around, then don't turn around. Experience it first, find out the feeling during the experience, and then move on." Huh? Zhuge was confused. "You shrink into the turtle shell first." Chinyi did not say it clearly. After Zhuge retreated into the turtle shell, Chinyi looked at Luoya and said, "One Piece, can you turn in circles?" "Gah! Yes. As long as you know how." Chinyi pointed at Zhuge and said to Luoya, "Go ahead and turn him around." "Gah!" Luoya was slightly startled. "Turn him around and let him experience the feeling of spinning." Chinyi's voice sounded again. This time, Luoya understood. Quack! Luoya walked forward excitedly. Under Zhuge's blank gaze, he placed his right hand on the right side of the turtle shell. Then, with a swish, the duck gave a beautiful swing, and the turtle shell spun directly in place with the swing of the duck. Ha! Aha! Zhuge's voice of panic followed closely behind. Zhuge, who experienced high-speed rotation for the first time, was obviously not prepared. Don't panic, calm down and experience it with your heart. When Zhuge screamed, Qin Ye's voice sounded in his mind. Listening to Qin Ye's voice, Zhuge's frightened heart gradually calmed down for some reason. Soon, he stopped shouting and began to feel the speed of his own rotation. It's just that the process of experiencing it is not good. Because of the rotation, he feels a little dizzy when he experiences it. When Qin Yi felt that the time was almost up, he shouted, "Stop!" Ga! Luoye quickly stopped and stood aside. As Luoye stopped his hand, the rotating turtle shell stopped soon. Quack! Luoye bent down and looked into the turtle shell. The dizzy Zhuge responded in a low voice. Qin Yi looked at Zhuge, who stretched out his head and lay motionless on the grass. Take a rest for 5 minutes and continue in 5 minutes. Zhuge trembled all over. Although he was a little scared, he still growled, "Yeah." Quack. Not bad. You have my style. Luoye patted Zhuge's turtle shell hard. Zhuge continued to lie lazily on the ground like a dead pig, not wanting to move. Here, drink some energy drink. Qin Yi took out 2 bottles of blue bottle drinks. One was given to Luoye, and the other was in his hand. Look up and open your mouth. Zhuge saw the drink in Qin Yi's hand, raised his head and opened his mouth skillfully. Qin Yi opened the bottle cap and poured it into Zhuge's mouth. Gulu gulu. Zhuge drank the fallen blue drink into his stomach in an instant. 5 minutes later, training begins again. On the 3rd day of practicing spinning, after 3 days of hard work, Zhuge's ability to resist fainting has skyrocketed, and he can already spin quickly for 1 minute without getting dizzy. On the evening of the 4th day of practicing spinning, a new skill appeared in Zhuge's information column. The skill was called spinning. Rotation: control yourself and make yourself rotate quickly. Can you understand spinning by spinning quickly and steadily for 1 minute without getting dizzy? Qin Yi muttered and said to Zhuge, "That's right, I'll give you extra food tonight. My goal tomorrow is to improve the proficiency of spinning to proficiency." Yeah. Zhuge looked up to the sky and yelled. Luoye standing aside looked at this scene and couldn't help showing a look of relief. My little brother has grown up. On the 5th day of practicing spinning, Qin Yi watched as his spinning proficiency improved to proficient and said, "Zhuge, after releasing the thorns and tortoise shell, release the spinning again and show me the effect." Yeah. Zhuge listened to Qin Yi's words and immediately followed his instructions. Ga! Luoye was stunned as he watched Zhuge release the thorns on the tortoise shell, and the changes caused by the rotation of the tortoise shell scales as they stood upright. At this time, Zhuge was obviously different from when he was spinning before. Before, he only felt fast and nothing else. But now he is fast, and the range and power can be imagined. Qin Yi looked at Zhuge spinning rapidly, silently grabbed a handful of grass from the ground and threw it towards Zhuge. The next moment, the grass directly turned into dust when it came into contact with Zhuge. Quack! Luoye exclaimed, turning his head to look at Qin Yi. I saw that Qin Yi was not standing, but bent down to pick up a stone. Immediately afterwards, Qin Yi threw the stone in his hand towards Zhuge without hesitation. With a snap, the moment the stone came into contact with Zhuge, one corner of the stone was chopped into pieces and it flew out at the same time. Qin Yi nodded slightly. He was quite satisfied with the test just now. However, he always felt that something was missing. Just as he was meditating, he felt the eyes coming from beside him. He turned around and looked at Luoye's surprised look. He suddenly smiled and said, "Pirate King, use your knife to chop it off and see the effect." Ga! Luoye suddenly came to his senses, then he held the long knife and walked towards Zhuge eagerly. Soon, Luoye came to Zhuge's side. He held a long knife and slashed away without hesitation. With a bang, Luoye leaned back slightly, and Zhuge was directly chopped away by Luoya's attack. Pirate King, you are a bit strong. Qin Yi looked at Luoya in surprise. Luoya's strength was somewhat beyond his expectation. Quack! Luoya puffed up his chest proudly. On the other side, Zhuge, who was knocked out, fell to the ground and jumped for a moment before stopping. When he stopped, he naturally stopped spinning. He stretched out his glands and looked at Qin Yi with some grievance. Under this knife, his scales were not chopped crookedly, but they were slightly damaged. If you look carefully, you can clearly see that several scales have a knife mark. Zhuge, good job, your defense is great now. Qin Yi heard the shouting and continued with a smile. If it were in the past, the Pirate King's sword would not be as simple as a slash, but directly cut into pieces. It's all broken and the scales are flying everywhere. Although he has been letting Zhuge learn to spin in the past few days, the fact that Zhuge is learning to spin does not mean that his strength has not improved. Thanks to Qin Yi's feeding of various spiritual foods and various trainings in the past few days, his strength has risen from level 6 to level 8. With the help of the mysterious stone tablet, his potential has also been successfully upgraded to a high level of extraordinary. Of course, the level of One Piece Luoya has also been upgraded from level 10 to level 11. So the battle just now was between level 8 Zhuge and level 11 Luoya. With a difference of 3 levels, and without Zhuge releasing his defensive skills, Zhuge's scales were only cut with a knife mark, which shows that Zhuge's defense is still very strong. Huh? Zhuge hadn't tilted his head yet. He looked up at Qin Yi excitedly. Huh? I understand. Qin Yi smiled and said, you are not weak now, but you are very strong now. There are not many spiritual beasts with your defense at the same level. When Zhuge heard this, he did not say anything, but lowered his head in embarrassment. Quack! Luoya called out to Zhuge twice, indicating that Qin Yi was right. Okay, take a rest, we will continue later. Qin Yi said, the training will be the same as before. The Pirate King will be responsible for cutting, and Zhuge will be responsible for using thorns, turtle shells and spinning skills for defense. We have to train this training program until you can react as soon as you take off. If possible, it would be best if you could release the spin as soon as you land, so that the enemy has no chance to pursue the victory. Qin Yi looked at Zhuge. Zhuge shouted with serious eyes, yeah. Chapter 17 Methods to Improve Strength. Race, Little Rock Turtle. Level 8, 82 out of 100. Attribute, Earth. Potential, High Extraordinary, 15 out of 100. Talent, Thorns Tortoise Shell, Kuang Gua. Skills, Earth Shield, Proficiency, 77 out of 100, Rock Armor, Proficiency, 32 out of 100, Control, Proficiency, 18 out of 100, Thorn Spin, Proficiency, 1 out of 100, Spin, Proficiency, 11/100. Introduction, the little rock turtle that eats the mysterious slate is thriving. Under the intense training of Qin Yi and Luoya, Zhuge's proficiency in the spinning skill was successfully improved to mastery. At the same time, Zhuge also learned a new skill, which is Thorn Spin. When Qin Yi accidentally saw the new skills on Zhuge's panel, he was stunned. Then, he thought about it and felt that it was normal. So, he continued to train Zhuge. After raising Zhuge's Thorn Spin proficiency to proficient, he decisively took Zhuge and Luoya out. After several days of close training, Qin Yi took the reborn Zhuge to the wild area closest to his home, Yehai Forest. Yehai Forest is a small forest connected to Yehai. The Yehai Forest covers an area of about 50 square kilometers. The spiritual beasts in it are officially controlled by Yehai City. There are 20+ level spirit beasts in the Yehai Forest, but these high-level spirit beasts are all in the depths of the Yehai Forest. Qin Yi will not go to the depths, he will just wander around the periphery. Most of the spirit beasts outside Yehai Forest were within level 10. Spirit beasts of this level would not pose much danger to him. The first time Qin Yi came to Yehai Forest, he summoned Zhuge and Luoya. Then, he slowly walked towards Yehai Forest with a turtle and a duck. Not long after walking, Qin Yi saw a large and 2 small gray wolves galloping towards them not far away. Race, Big Bad Wolf. Level, Level 12. Attribute, General. Potential, High and Extraordinary. Race, Grey Wolf. Level, Level 8. Attribute, General. Potential, Low-Level Extraordinary. One Piece is protecting me. Enter Juga. There is a level 12 Big Bad Wolf and a level 8 and a level 7 Grey Wolf. The Big Bad Wolf is the evolved form of the Grey Wolf, and they both have general attributes. Yeah. Juga growled, walking forward with sharp eyes. Since the shit-shoveling officer asked him to do it, he would definitely be able to handle it, so he was not afraid at all. If it were him before, he would definitely be afraid, but after several days of training with Qin Yi, his confidence has gradually changed. Juga looked at the three charging wolves and ran forward briskly. At the moment when they were about to collide, Juga's limbs and glands instantly retracted into the turtle shell and fell to the ground motionless. The fast-running Big Bad Wolf immediately stopped. He looked at the turtle shell in front of him and frowned. Then, he raised his head and looked at Qin Yi, who was watching a show not far away, howling like a wolf. Ouch! The Big Bad Wolf turned and glanced at the two gray wolves beside him, then skipped the turtle shell at his feet and ran towards Qin Yi with his little brother. Holy shit! So smart? Qin Yi was shocked, but he quickly commanded Luoya, who was standing next to him. The Pirate King releases the water sword and destroys them quickly. Gah! Luoya walked forward quickly, and the long knife in his hand was quickly wrapped in the water element. Swish, swish, 3 knives, 3 water element swords were swung by Luoya and attacked the 3 evil wolves that were attacking not far away. The water jet can be deployed externally. Bang! 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 The next moment, 3 sword lights landed on the 3 evil wolves with 100% accuracy. The 3 evil wolves were directly blasted away, lying on the ground howling. Quack! Luoya held the knife handsomely and killed him again. The Big Bad Wolf quickly got up and rushed toward the rook with a ferocious look. The blow just now was acceptable to it, but not so easy to the 2 little wolves. When the Big Bad Wolf rushed forward, the 2 little wolves just stood up reluctantly. The level 8 little wolf looked at the big wolf that was knocked away again, and when he was about to go to support him, his eyes couldn't help but dim. It looked up suddenly. I saw a spiny turtle shell falling from the sky and hitting it. Bang! The level 8 little wolf's eyes suddenly bulged, filled with fear and pain. Juga, who hit the little wolf on the head, stretched out his glands and shouted to Qin Yi with a little pride. At the same time, the little wolf under Juga also lost his breath at this moment. The originally weak little wolf was killed by Juga's blow. Race, Little Rock Turtle. Level, Level 8, 87 out of 100. Attribute, Earth. Potential, High Extraordinary, 15 out of 100. Qin Yi listened to Juga's shouts and threw a soul-calling pupil at Juga. He looked at the obviously improved data in brackets behind, level, on the Juga panel, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help but raise slightly. In addition to training and eating various natural materials and earthly treasures, the ways for spiritual beasts to improve their strength are to kill various creatures. According to the way the game is played, as long as a spirit beast successfully kills a spirit beast whose strength is not much lower than its own, it can gain a large amount of experience points. There is no upper limit to the experience points here. It will not develop resistance like after consuming a large amount of the same natural materials and earthly treasures, making its effectiveness less and less effective until it is completely useless. Of course, the premise that there is no upper limit is that your level has not been improved. After your level is raised to level 15, if you are still killing level 5 or 6 spiritual beasts, you naturally have no experience. If you want to continue to gain experience, you can only kill spiritual beasts that are level 10, level 11, or level 15 or above. In general, if you kill a spirit beast that is higher than your own level, the experience value you get will definitely be high. If you kill a spirit beast that is lower than your own level, the experience value you get will depend on the strength of the spirit beast you kill. If the spirit beast is strong, the experience value gained will be higher. If the spirit beast is weak, the experience value gained will be less. Of course, you can quickly gain experience by killing spirit beasts, thereby improving your strength, but this route of improvement is only friendly to spirit beasts with low strength, and is not so friendly to those with powerful spirit beasts. Because as the level of spirit beasts increases, the number of spirit beasts encountered at the same level will become less and less. The number is small, and the speed of improvement will naturally slow down. Therefore, upgrading the level will still rely on self-training and eating various kinds of food. Treasures from heaven and earth. As for why Qin didn't let Zhuge kill spirit beasts to increase his strength before, it was because there were a huge number of low-level wild spirit beasts, so there was no shortage of targets to gain experience. Of course, the most important thing was that Zhuge had no means of attack at that time. It was too difficult for Zhuge to kill the spiritual beast without any means of attack. Therefore, before Zhuge had no real means of attack, he did not do that, but settled until now. Chapter 18 Zhuge, Evolution. Zhuge, catch up and hit it with thorns. Zhuge heard the sound and quickly ran towards the Henin bear who was escaping in front of him. With a bang, the scarred Henin bear was killed directly by Zhuge's impact. Beautiful! Qin Yi shouted. After shouting, he looked towards the panel in front of him. Race, Little Rock Turtle. Level 10, 1 out of 100. Attribute, Earth. Potential, High Extraordinary, 30 out of 100. Talent, Thorns Tortoise Shell, Kuan Gua. Skills, Earth Shield, Mastery, 11 out of 100, Rock Armor, Mastery, 62 out of 100, Control, Mastery, 57 out of 100, Thorn Spin, Mastery, 44 out of 100. After 2 days of fighting in the wild, Zhuge's level was successfully raised to level 10 with the blow just now. Many of his skills have also been significantly improved after these 2 days of high-intensity fighting. Among them, the proficiency of Earth Shield and Thorn Spin have been upgraded to the proficiency level. It's level 10. Qin Yi raised his head and looked at Zhuge, who was lying motionless not far away, feeling some inexplicable expectation in his heart. What to expect, of course, is whether the little rock turtle can gain the power of evolution in this promotion and undergo its first evolution. It is generally accepted that spiritual beasts can evolve. When can spiritual beasts evolve? After several years of observation, most spirit beasts will evolve at an integer level, and only a very small number of spirit beasts will escape this phenomenon. Most of the spiritual beasts that have escaped from this phenomenon and evolved have eaten top-quality natural materials and earthly treasures. Without consuming heavenly materials and earthly treasures, most spiritual beasts will only evolve when they reach an integer level. Of course, when the spirit beast reaches an integer level, it does not necessarily evolve, but there is a chance that it will evolve. The probability of its evolution is determined by factors such as the spirit beast's level, potential, and inner desire to evolve. After the spirit beast successfully evolves, its own strength and potential will be greatly improved. As for how much it will improve, it depends on how the spiritual beast will evolve. Not long after, a mysterious light appeared out of thin air around Zhuge under the gaze of Qin Yi and Luoya. Soon, the mysterious light enveloped Zhuge tightly, like a giant egg. Starting to evolve. Qin Yi happily brought Luoya to Zhuge's side and protected Zhuge. Although Zhuge ate the heavenly materials and earthly treasures related to Bagua, his own initial potential was always a bit lower. When his initial potential was low, it was easy to trigger evolution when his level reached level 10, so Qin Yi was not surprised when Zhuge triggered the evolutionary brilliance. Of course, it is easy here only for the first evolution, but the second evolution is not so easy. The glory of evolution disappears just as quickly as it comes. In less than 2 minutes, a new-looking Zhuge appeared under Qin Yi's gaze as the light of evolution dissipated. Qin Yi looked at Zhuge, who was 1.5 times bigger, in front of him and released his soul-summoning eyes towards him without hesitation. Race, Earth Turtle. Level 10, 1 out of 100. Attribute, Earth. Potential, Medium Elite, 50 out of 100. Talent, Thorns and Turtle Armor, Kuan Gua, Li Gua, Rock Spirit Power. Skill, Flame Spray, Entry, 0 out of 100. Introduction, the little rock turtle that accidentally ate the mysterious slate successfully evolved into an earth turtle under your careful training. It is still adapting to the power given by the mysterious slate. He looked at the extra talents and skills on the interface and fell silent. A few seconds later, he looked up at Zhuge. Seeing Zhuge's body showing a trace of rosy luster, he suddenly felt that nothing was wrong. So, he began to check the effects of talents and skills. Li Gua, active talent, Li Gua of Bagua, summons raging fire, forming a force that burns the sky, causing continuous fire damage to the enemy. At the same time, its own flames also have a certain purification effect. Power of Rock Spirit, passive talent, one's own earth attribute energy transforms into the power of Rock Spirit. The power of Rock Spirit has more powerful power and defense than ordinary earth attribute energy. Flame Spray, active skill, condenses flames in the mouth and sprays them at the target, which can cause fire damage. It's so terrifying, it's so terrifying. Qin Yi couldn't help but exclaimed softly after seeing the effect. Huh? Luoya looked at Qin Yi curiously. Qin Yi heard the sound and smiled at Luoya. Pirate King, you may not be Zhuge's opponent now. Gah! How is that possible? Luoya jumped up instantly and looked at Zhuge with a look of dissatisfaction. Although he has been working as a bodyguard these days and has not improved his level, he does not believe that Zhuge, who has just evolved and has just been promoted to level 10, can defeat him. You'll know later. Qin Yi raised the corner of his mouth slightly and said to Zhuge, let's go find the next target. Zhuge raised his head and shouted excitedly. He couldn't wait to try out the ability he had just acquired. Not long after, Qin Yi pointed at the big bad wolf not far away and said, Zhuge, release flame spray at it, let the Pirate King see your new ability. Yeah. Zhuge nodded vigorously. I saw a flame beginning to condense in his mouth. The next moment, flames were ejected from his mouth with lightning speed, like a ferocious dragon, shooting directly at the big bad wolf not far away. The roar sounded, and before the big bad wolf had time to react, he was hit hard by the incoming flames and flew to an open space not far away. Ouch! The big bad wolf rolled on the ground in pain, wailing while trying to extinguish the flames on his body. Quack! That's it? Luoya looked at Qin Yi. Quack! Quack quack! This power is average, I can do it with one knife. Don't worry. Qin Yi smiled and said to Zhuge, release Li Gua. Zhuge raised his head and groaned, and the fire elements around him seemed to have heard the call and gathered one after another. The next moment, the fire element surrounding Zhuge soared into the sky, forming a huge fireball. The flames connected the fireball and Zhuge. The scene was extremely cool. Immediately afterwards, the fireball was like a huge fort, and balls of flames shot out from it, heading straight for the big bad wolf. The big bad wolf, which was still rolling, heard the noise not far away and looked up. Seeing the flames flying like cannonballs, it stood up in fright, turned around and ran away. Bang! 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 The big bad wolf dodged left and right, but ultimately failed to dodge the incoming flames. Hearing a loud noise, the big bad wolf was hit hard by the flames and fell to the ground. Qin Yi looked at the jumping experience on Zhuge's panel and said to the dumbfounded Luoya, how is it? Is this power okay? Luoya opened his little mouth slightly and looked at Zhuge in disbelief. Quack! Little turtle, how did you become so powerful? Zhuge shook his head with a confused expression. Obviously, he was also frightened by the skills released. Qin Yi looked at the small craters made by the flames not far away and couldn't help but said, there is something about this talent. This power is already available at level 10, so when Zhuge reaches level 50 or 60, the power will be so terrifying. Qin Yi thought about it and couldn't help but smile. Chapter 19 The Second Talent, Destiny. In a certain forest in the Yehai forest, as Zhuge breathed out like a fire dragon, killing a level 13 Henin bear in one breath, a strange energy instantly appeared in Qin Ye's body. Feeling this sudden special energy, Qin Yi suddenly thought of something and shouted to Luoya beside him, protect me, I seem to be advancing. After saying that, he sat cross-legged on the spot. Upon seeing this, Luoya immediately held the long knife in his hand and glanced around seriously. On the other side, after Zhuge sprayed Henin Bear to death, his level was instantly raised to level 12. After the evolution the day before yesterday, Zhuge had 2 more attack skills, and the speed at which he killed spiritual beasts has undergone earth-shaking changes. This amazing change allowed him to rise from level 10 to level 12 in just 2 days. When Zhuge reached level 12, he didn't feel too much about his extra strength. Instead, he immediately climbed to Qin Ye's vicinity and guarded Qin Yi with Luoya. Not long after, Qin Yi opened his eyes, with a bright smile on his lips. At this moment, he successfully promoted from trainee to junior level, and he was now a junior spiritual summoner. Afterwards, Qin Yi stood up and said to Luoya, who looked over, "One Piece, are you ready?" "Huh?" Luoya had a puzzled look on his face when he heard this. Before Qin Yi could respond, he thought of something and immediately shouted excitedly, "Ga! Ga! Ga!" Qin Yi looked at Luoya's excited look, raised the corners of his mouth slightly, and responded directly with the actions of his hands. The next moment, the light of the contract appeared at Luoya's feet. Luoya looked at the contract circle that appeared under his feet and felt the power of the contract pouring into him. He quickly dissipated his subconscious resistance and accepted the power of the contract wandering in his body with his heart. The power of the contract quickly ended its use under Luoya's non-resistant state. At the same time, the contract between Qin Yi and Luoya was also concluded at this moment. Qin Yi felt the sudden surge of energy in his body. He sat cross-legged again and began to adapt to his extra strength. At this moment, Luoya also entered a special state. Zhuge looked at one person and one duck with their eyes closed, and was slightly startled. "Why are you closing your eyes?" Zhuge was stunned for a moment and then reacted. His eyes suddenly changed, and he immediately began to observe his surroundings carefully. 2 minutes later, Qin Yi opened his eyes first. He looked at Zhuge's eyes and showed a pleased smile. "Thank you for your hard work." Zhuge shook his head gently, indicating that it was not hard. Qin Yi turned to look at Luoya, who was standing aside and was still awake, and silently called out his own panel. Name, Qin Yi. Level, Junior Spiritualist. Talent, All Things, Destiny. Skill, Soul Calling Eye. Destiny. Qin Yi whispered, curiously checking the effect. Every time a spiritual summoner advances to a level, in addition to being able to contract with spiritual beasts again, he will also have one more talent. Destiny Path. The Destiny Path is released to the Spirit Beast. You can view the various ways that the Spirit Beast can currently evolve, and analyze the evolution needs and the minimum potential after evolution. Qin Ye's eyes suddenly widened and he couldn't help but stretch his head forward. After seeing that he was right, he couldn't help shouting, F***K. Qin Yi opened his mouth slightly and fell into shock. At his feet, not far away, Zhuge heard Qin Ye's shocked shouts and growled with doubt in his eyes, "Huh? Gulu." Qin Yi took a deep breath, swallowed, tried hard to suppress his shock, and looked up at the confused Zhuge not far away. Immediately afterwards, he released his fate to Zhuge without hesitation. Destiny. Earth Turtle, lower leader. No requirements are required, just upgrade normally. Climbing Rock Turtle, medium command. Increase the proportion of its own earth attributes, increase its own weight to more than 1 ton. Burning Rock Turtle, lower lord. It needs more fire attribute skills, or consumes more fire attribute heavenly materials and earthly treasures to balance its fire attribute and earth attribute. For Elephant's Turtle, medium lord. You need to eat items related to the power of the 4 elephants to react with the mysterious slate in the body. For elephants, Green Dragon, White Tiger, Suzaku, Xuanwu. P.S. The above potential after evolution is related to the level, potential, and quality of the natural materials and earthly treasures consumed when evolving. Qin Yi looked at the 4 fate paths that appeared on the panel and couldn't help but take a deep breath again. He looked again and again, and finally fixed his sights on the 4 elephant turtles. Well, that's it. Qin Yi nodded, turned off the interface, and turned to unleash his fate on Luoya, who was already awake. As for the 4 symbols, it is written above that they are about things, but they do not necessarily have to be the green dragon, white tiger, red bird, and Xuanwu. Then they are dragons, tigers, birds, and turtles. He couldn't find the green dragon, white tiger, red bird, or Xuanwu, but he could still find the more common dragons, tigers, birds, and turtles. Destiny. Dolly Duck, high elite. No requirements are required, just upgrade normally. Navy Duck, lower commander needs a navy hat, and needs to have the dream of becoming a navy. Pirate Duck, lower leader needs a pirate hat and the dream of becoming a pirate. This is not wrong. It is similar to the official evolution route. The officially announced evolutionary route has one more Scout Duck and Drifter Duck than what he saw. The evolution requirements of the Scout Duck are more complicated than those of the Pirate Duck and the Navy Duck. In addition to a scout hat and a heart that wants to be a scout, the Scout Duck also needs to learn stealth skills. As for the Drifter Duck, the Sailor Duck they bred cannot evolve, because the Drifter Duck needs a wandering heart. The Sailor Duck has been contracted by you. Being contracted by you means that you are imprisoned in action. Being imprisoned in action will naturally not create a wandering heart. Therefore, if you want to contract a vagabond duck, you can only find ready-made ones in the world. Contract. Because the requirements for evolving the Drifter Duck are relatively high, the Drifter Duck is also the evolutionary form with the highest potential after evolution of the Sailor Duck currently known, and its lowest potential is the medium leader. It seems that fate cannot see all evolutionary paths. Qin Yi was a little disappointed in his heart. When he saw the effect, he thought he could see all the fate paths. Now that he learned that he could only see part of the fate paths, he was inevitably disappointed. But this time, that is, one time. Soon, his face was filled with smile. This heaven-defying talent is truly heaven-defying. You can see the talents that are most suitable for the evolution path of your contracted beast. How can this not be called heaven-defying? After Qin Yi calmed down his excitement, he smiled at Luoya and said, "Pirate King, please give me your advice in the future." Quack. Luoya raised his head proudly, with a cheerful look on his face. Chapter 20 Black Sheep's Pirate Hat. Race, Sailor Duck. Level 11, 37 out of 100. Attribute, Water. Potential, Low Elite, 60 out of 100. Talent, Plunder. Skills, Water Jet, Proficiency, 76 out of 100, Water Gun, Proficiency, 42 out of 100, Fighting Will, Proficiency, 2 out of 100. Introduction, a little duck who dreams of becoming the Pirate King. Plunder, Passive Talent. Every time you hit the enemy with a knife, you can steal the enemy's energy and give it to yourself. Is this talent actually in effect? Qin Yi whispered, looking at Luoya and said, "One Piece, your talent is quite awesome." Quack. Of course. Luoya put his hands on his hips and held his head high. Okay. Qin Yi smiled and said, "Okay, now let's see if your growth rate will become faster after contracting with me." Gah. Luoya heard this, and his heart was full of fighting spirit. Not long after, Qin Yi watched a level 12 big bad wolf being hacked to death by Luoya, and silently looked at the panel in front of him. He looked at the jumping numbers in brackets behind the water jet and couldn't help but exclaimed, "I'm pretty good at it." It's just that where did this thing come from? Qin Yi pondered for a moment and muttered, "Is it because he returned to another life? His soul is thicker than ordinary people, and his mental power is stronger than ordinary people, which is the reason?" Forget it, leave him alone. Qin Yi shook his head, he was not going to think about it anymore. If you have everything, then enjoy it. After Qin Yi knew that he was different, he continued training with Zhuge and Luoya without hesitation. Today is the 21st, and there are only a few days until the exam. Therefore, he will work hard to hit the intermediate level in the remaining few days. Become an intermediate spiritual summoner. Night. On the dinner table. After Baiya heard that Qin Yi had become a junior spiritual summoner and contracted with Luoya, she asked with a somewhat uncertain tone, "Son, are you a junior spiritual summoner?" "That's right, Mom." Qin Yi responded again. "How high is Zhuge?" Qin Ming frowned slightly, feeling a little unscientific. Level 12. Qin Yi looked at Qin Ming and asked, Dad, what's wrong? Did I level up too fast? Son, your talent is quite amazing. Baya on the side heard her son's reply again and shouted in shock, your father and I both became junior summoners when the contract beast reached level 15. Healer, you have already reached this level at level 12. You are 3 levels faster than us. When Qin Yi heard this, he was stunned. When he first became a junior spiritual summoner, he only cared about the contract with the Pirate King and really didn't think about this level. Now that I think about it, it seems really scary. Qin Ming looked at Qin Yi, who was stunned there, and couldn't help but take a deep breath and said, under normal circumstances, a spiritual summoner with your type of talent will become a junior summoner when the contracted beast reaches level 14. Spiritualist. Those with stronger talents will become junior spiritual summoners when the contract beast reaches level 13. We have never heard of a case like yours where a contracted beast can become a junior spiritual summoner at level 12. Qin Ming shook his head, with a trace of joy in his complicated eyes. Then, he continued to Qin Yi with a firm tone, I can say with certainty that your all-encompassing talent is an S-level talent. Qin Yi came back to his senses and asked doubtfully, Dad, is this S-level? Isn't it a bit exaggerated? Although you can't see the talent rating on your panel, the official has made a talent rating based on the many talents included. The strength of their talents, from low to high, are E level, D level, C level, B level, A level, and the most powerful S level. It's not an exaggeration at all. Qin Ming responded with serious eyes, at low levels, there is actually not much difference between people with your type of talent and people without this type of talent. Because when the contracted beast is at a low level, the energy it gives us each time it increases is actually not much. For example, if you upgrade to a level and give 10 points of energy, then a person with your type of talent will get 11 or 12 points. 1 point more, 2 points more, in the early stage, the difference is not obvious. The big difference is that when you give 100 or 1000 points later, you will get 110 or 1100 points at that time. 10 points more, 100 points of energy, the difference is still obvious. Qin Ming paused, looked at Qin Yi and continued, and your talent is far beyond 1 or 2 points. Level 3 speed is much scarier than level 1 speed and level 2 speed. That seems to make sense. Qin Yi suddenly understood after hearing this. At this moment, he had a clear understanding of the power of his own talent. Son, no one knows that you have become a junior spiritual summoner, right? Baya asked. No. Qin Yi shook his head. Seeing this, Baya warned, before Zhuge reaches level 14, it is best not to summon the Pirate King in front of others. Mom, I understand. Qin Yi nodded vigorously. My mother just wanted to hide it, so that no one would know prematurely that his talent was so unbelievable. And he had exactly the same intention after listening to his father's analysis. Just understand. Baya smiled slightly and said nothing more. Seeing that his mother didn't ask any more questions, Qin Yi turned to look at his father and asked playfully, Dad, do you have a pirate hat? I've prepared it for you. Qin Ming waved his right hand, and a domineering black pirate hat instantly appeared on his right hand. Qin Ye's eyes lit up when he saw the pirate hat appearing out of thin air. He immediately took the pirate hat from his father and shouted excitedly, Thank you, Dad, thank you, Mom. Huh, come on, son. Qin Ming laughed, feeling extremely happy in his heart. After learning about the heaven-defying effects of his son's talent, although he was a little worried, he was more happy. After all, no parent doesn't want their children to awaken to powerful talents. He had been worried before, worrying that his son's talent would not be effective. Now that he knew that his son's talent could reach S level, he felt much more relaxed instantly. Qin Ming watched Qin Yi take the pirate hat and walk to the room, and couldn't help turning his head to look at Baya. He looked at Baya, who was also looking over, and the two of them looked at each other and smiled in unison. Inside the room, Qin Yi looked at the black pirate hat in his hand and threw a soul-calling pupil without hesitation. Black Sheep's Pirate Hat. Quality, yellow. Introduction: a pirate hat forged by the master spiritualist Black Sheep using various natural materials and earthly treasures. This hat has strong defense and self-recovery capabilities. You are listening to it in Eugene Light Novels.